9 of the high school football schedule. John DuPont, David Johnson here, bringing you the South Georgia Sports Network High School Football Game of the Week. Behind us, the Bacon County Red Raiders against the Atkinson County Rebels. Two teams, David, very similar. Both one-win teams. Both of those wins coming against Pelham. And the winner tonight actually advances to the play-in game, in which they can vie for an opportunity to play in the state playoffs. So if Bacon County, interestingly enough, wins tonight, they will play on the road, but if they lose, they'll actually be back home. Let's talk about personnel, though. The leader of this team, Reed Burkett, the quarterback, real spark plug of the offense. He's a little bit hobbled coming into tonight's game.
Yeah, he got injured the last part of last week's game, and I talked to his dad earlier, and they say they got him taped up pretty good, but he'll play, and he's like he's played all season. It'll be with 100%, and this has been his last, potentially last at-home game at senior night. I'm sure they're going to give everything they've got.
Often is the case. As Reed Burkett goes, so go the Bacon County Red Raiders. Teeing it up at Morris Johnson Stadium. Kickoff straight ahead right here on the South Georgia Sports Network.
At this time, we would like to recognize our senior football players, cheerleaders, and band members. We would like to thank them for their dedication and hard work this year. Our first senior football player is Reed Burkett. He is the son of Vance and Andy Burkett. Reed is involved in the following clubs: TSA, Beta, Drama, and Spanish. He plays football, baseball, and wrestles. In his junior year, he was voted best all-around, most spirited, class clown, most unforgettable, and most popular. He was also on the homecoming court his junior year. This year, Reed was named Mr. BCHS. He was selected for seniors hoo-hoo. Reed was on the homecoming court this year and was voted homecoming king. Reed is a member of First Baptist Church. He plans to attend Valdosta State University and major in mass media broadcasting. He plans to pursue a career in video production. Our next senior is Chris Murray. He is the son of John and Beverly Murray. He is involved in the FCA club and Spanish club. Chris plays football, baseball, and runs track. He was selected for seniors Who's Who, and his junior year was voted most athletic. He was named All-State Defensive End. He was elected first team on all-region offensive line and defensive line. Chris plans to play college football and pursue a career as a physical therapist. Our third senior is Marcus Shine. He is the son of Lachelle Anderson. He is being escorted by his grandmother, Carrie Anderson. He is involved in FBLA Club, Beta Club, and is the president of the Spanish Club. He has played football 1 year and basketball 1 year. He is also the treasurer of the senior class. He was selected for Seniors Who's Who and the Homecoming Court this year. Marcus plans to attend college to major in business management and to minor in computer science. Our last senior football player is Cedric Suggs. He is the son of Mary Elizabeth Suggs and late John Wesley Suggs II. He is being escorted by his mother and his brother, Private John Wesley Suggs III. He has been involved in the Spanish Club for 1 year and the FCCLA Club for 1 year. He has played football for 2 years and basketball for 1 year. He was awarded the Young Citizenship Award. Cedric is a member of First African Baptist Church. He plans to join the Navy once he graduates. Our only senior cheerleader is Kenesha Stevens. She is the daughter of Deshian and Lee Stevens. Kenesha is involved in the FBLA Club, FCA Club, Spanish Club, and Drama Club. She is president of Student Council. Kenesha was selected for Seniors Who's Who and voted Miss BCHS. She was chosen for Junior Superlatives and was on both the Junior and Senior Homecoming Court. She is secretary of her class. Kenesha is on the football competition squad. She attends Firstborn Church. Kenesha's future plans are to go to college and major in biology and become an orthodontist. Our first senior band member is Michael Anderson. He is the son of Sherry and Marty Anderson. Michael has been a member of the FFA Club for 4 years, the Raider Regiment Marching Band for 4 years, and the Concert Band for 4 years. Michael attends Unity Baptist Church. Michael's future plans are to attend Altamaha Technical College, where he will participate in the Caterpillar Diesel program, where he will become a mechanic for Yancey Caterpillar. Other plans are to get hitched and have children. Our next senior band member is John Cribbs. He is the son of Sherry Gomez. He has been involved with FFA for 1 year. He played baseball for 1 year. John has been a member of the Raider Regiment Marching Band and Concert Band for 4 years. John plans to pursue a career in auto mechanics at OTC after finishing diesel mechanics. Our third band member is Nathan Cohen. He is the son of Laura and Mark Cohen. Nathan has been involved in the Spanish Club, FBLA, and director of Drama Club. Nathan has been a class officer for 3 years. He has been a member of the Raider Regiment Marching Band and Concert Band for 4 years. Nathan has played tennis for 4 years. Nathan's future plans are to attend University of Georgia or Valdosta to get his BFA in theater production. He then plans to obtain his doctorate in theater production from Savannah College of Art and Design. Our fourth senior band member is Russell Leisure. He is the son of Sandra and Gary Hendrickson and the late Ed Leisure. He is involved in the TSA Club. Russell has been a member of the Raider Regiment Band for 7 years and drum major for 2 years. He attended the University of South Carolina Honor Band Clinic. He has received Director's Award and Superior Drum Major Award. Russell plans to attend the University of Georgia and pursue a degree in marketing and sales. Russell. Our Our fifth senior band member is Dominique Mitchell. He is the son of Lasagna Mitchell and the late Gregory Mitchell. Dominique has been involved in the following clubs: Spanish for 3 years, FBLA for 3 years, HOSA for 1 year. He has been a class officer for 1 year, FBLA officer for 2 years, student council officer for 2 years, and band officer for 2 years. Dominique played baseball for 3 years. He has been a member of the Raider Regiment Marching and Concert Band for 4 years. Dominique participates in every Black History Month event. He was selected for Seniors Who's Who, Black History Oratorical Contest winner, and YFFY Outstanding Youth Award. Dominique has been on both the junior and senior homecoming court. Dominique attends House of God in Patterson, Georgia. He plans to attend Clark Atlanta University and obtain a degree in biology. Afterwards, he plans to go to MGC and get a degree in dentistry or later become a cosmetic dentist. Our sixth senior band member is Tyler Straub. He is the son of Brenda and Gene Straub. He is involved in the Spanish Club, 4-H Club, and TSA Club. He is a member of the Raider Regiment Marching Band. Tyler received an award in Algebra 2 for the highest yearly average. Tyler has received Perfect Attendance Award and many 4-H local and district awards. He also received the award for Most Improved in the band. Tyler attends Alma United Methodist Church. Tyler plans to attend Ogeechee Technical College in Statesboro to earn a radiologist technology diploma and then move to a MRI or CT nuclear medicine and become an imaging specialist. Our seventh senior band member is Portia Smith. She is the wife of Kevin and Eric Smith and the granddaughter of Charles Blue and Ruby Moore. In her 9th grade year, she was involved in FBLA Club, FCCLA Club, 4-H Club, Beta, National Honor Society, and soccer. During her 10th grade year, she was a member of the Spanish, Beta, FBLA, HOSA, Science, and 4-H Club and dance team. In the 11th and 12th grade, she was a member of Student Council and dance team. She has received Achievement in Algebra 2 and National Honor Society Award. She was crowned Miss Peach Queen and Miss Nichols Founders Day Queen. She was on the junior homecoming court and has been dance captain for the past 2 years. Portia plans to attend South Georgia for 2 years to earn her basic credits and then transfer to Hope University in California to major in psychology. She plans to extend her career into children's psychiatrics. Our final senior band member is Kelly Vickers. She is the daughter of Kim and Jean Vickers. Kelly has been a member of Spanish for 3 years, drama for 3 years, student council for 2 years, and FBLA for 2 years. She has participated in tennis for 4 years and been a member of the Raider Regiment Marching Band for 4 years. She has been class officer for 3 years, band captain, and drumline captain. She was selected for Seniors Who's Who, Junior Superlatives, and Senior Homecoming Court. She has received the Most Outstanding Woodwind Award for 2 years. Kelly attends First Baptist Church. Kelly plans to attend Valdosta State University and major in art. She then plans to transfer to Savannah College of Art and Design and specialize in photography. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2008 seniors. Let's give them a big round of applause.
Nabil, South Georgia Sports Network, football game, Bacon County Raiders, Atkinson County Rebels, senior night. Thank you, sponsors from Bacon County and beyond. Next week, Appling? Question mark. Bacon? Question mark. Call me. Bacon County Raiders. Woo. This game is brought to you by SGSN and WDMG 860 AM, The Talk of the South, with 97.9 The Big Dog. This game is sponsored by C. Bennett&Johnson Insurance, for everything you hold dear. Family Vision Care, for a lifetime of vision health since 1955. Jay's IGA, hometown proud, go Raiders. South Georgia Diagnostic and Prevention Center, with doctors Clay Carter and Lou Ellen Hutchison.
Other teams in the region.
Oh, it is. An away game for us anymore is, like you say, over 100 miles anyway. Almost in Alabama or in middle Georgia somewhere.
I tried to, I'm gonna go against my word and try to extrapolate a little bit here tonight. If Bacon County wins tonight and then Miller County and Seminole County win this evening, as we expect they would, Miller County's playing Calhoun County, Seminole's hosting Randolph Clay. If that's the case, you get something that's kind of ugly. Miller County, Seminole County, and then Terrell County, which is already done for the year with a 3-1 record in the sub-region, they'd all be tied atop the region, and we got a lot of unknown tiebreakers that come into play. Well, another guy it's good to see out there is Sabron Mosby, the freshman, healthy and kicking off once again. Kickoff is dropped, now picked up by a Rebel, just shy of the 20. And a fumble. Red Raiders say that they have got the ball, and how about that? Don't always see a lot of good fortune for the Red Raiders this early in a ball game.
No, that's right. I couldn't tell who recovered that fumble. Had several guys in there, and again, we're looking through this glary window.
Well, there's a lot of factors, technical factors that we've been battling against, but we appreciate so much Roland Lott back at the studio, flipping the knobs and dials and doing such a great job. And, of course, on the TV side, Tim and Nabil and their crew doing great as well. Big break for the Raiders to start this one. Moving left to right, Raiders in the white uniform, a 4-receiver set with one man in motion. Reed Burkett under center, toss sweep right side. Tay Reynolds has got it off the corner and some positive yardage, a gain of about 3. We have not seen Tay Reynolds start at tailback in many, many weeks.
No, that was a play we've seen earlier this season a lot with Chris Noble at that position. Tay, you know, he last week had some pretty outstanding efforts, and maybe they saw that and just want to give him a try.
He's an athlete. He's going to be a good one, only a sophomore, as David mentioned. That was extra, I would say, special teams and defense did a great job. From the short side of the field, 2nd and 7. They go to Tay off the right side, and he's got a first down and then some down around the 10-yard line. If he gets his momentum, it's going to be 1st and goal.
Man, you love to see a guy burst through that line like he did, and he does play with reckless abandon, and defensively and offensively.
Let's see where they set down the chain there. It looks like it's a ball length the other side of the 10-yard line, which would mean, yeah, they're going to stretch the chains, which means it's 1st and 10, and the Raiders can get a first down. Reynolds, the tailback again, from the straight eye. They're going to give it to Tay, and the ball's on the ground, and it looks like the Rebels came up with it. And that has been the case this year, where the Red Raiders have gotten some good fortune. They have not been able to capitalize, and they blow a golden scoring opportunity early on.
And, you know, that's one of the things that we talked about last week is, you know, we keep trying different people at different positions, trying to find that guy, what his niche is, but when you don't take a lot of snaps, you don't get a lot of chances to actually take a handoff, and then, you know, sometimes things like this happen.
So 11:35 of this ball game. Okay, we're not even 30 seconds into it, and we've already had 2 turnovers, and such has been the plight of these two teams, either with both with just a win apiece. From a power I formation and one receiver to the right side, Meeks going to toss, sweep it to Vickers. Off the corner, stacked up, and I think I'm getting these names right again. Drew Meeks, the quarterback, is very much like his counterpart. You know, when I mean his counterpart, I'm talking about Red Raider quarterback Reed Burkett. Both were U.S. Army all-academic selections to start the season. Tez Vickers was a guy that scored a couple touchdowns in the preseason scrimmage. They looked pretty good with their running game that night, and it's certainly going to be an area that they're going to have to quell.
They did, and what I was looking again is our teams doing the jumping jacks after a good play, and they did contain that very well, by the way.
Yeah, that's kind of a new wrinkle we've seen over the last couple of weeks. Atkinson County calls a timeout at 11:22 of the first quarter. We'll do the same. 30-second break. You're listening to Bacon County Red Raiders football. Both teams with the Butterfingers early on in this ball game. 0-0 our score. Bacon County and Atkinson County. John DuPont, David Johnson with you on the radio side. Well, on the TV side too, where this game airing all week long on ATC Channel 15 beginning at 7 o'clock on Tuesday night. Two things that the Red Raiders failed to do in the preseason scrimmage against Atkinson County was stop the rushing game, and also they failed to pick up the blitzing linebackers, but we'll talk about that again in a minute. Handoff up the middle, up to around the 24-yard line. And by the way, 18 is actually taking the snaps. I'm guessing that's Meeks. I'm going to hope that is Drew Meeks' road jersey. At some point, maybe we can, during the next break, David, maybe you can check with the other radio guy to make sure on that. But Meeks was definitely the guy that took the snaps in the preseason, and that was a white jersey. These are red jerseys, so you don't always have the same thing. Third down and midway. 3rd and 5, call it for the Rebels. 3 deep. They're going to offset to the left side with a power eye this time. Handoff going to go to Vickers, and he's got a hole. He's got first down yardage, or so it seems, to around the 24-yard line, and he had to get to around the 23. He's doing some good downhill running, as we call it.
He is. You can tell he's got a lot of speed, but actually Michael McCarty got a hold of him, held on long enough for Tay Reynolds to come in and clean up.
Still looking to see if Cedric Suggs enters the ball game at any point. He's number 52, one of the seniors who, again, cleared to play after a season-long illness. And it looks like we're going to have an official measurement here. Opening drive of the game, Red Raiders recovered a fumble by Atkinson County on the opening kickoff. Red Raiders fumbled it 2 plays later. And again, with Tay Reynolds back there, he was doing some good things. First couple times he dropped the ball, or he handled the ball. He dropped it the 3rd time because he hasn't been in the backfield a whole lot. It's going to be a first down for the Rebels.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you have to coordinate when you're running the ball out. You got to get the ball first, but you also want to kind of see where you're going, where the hole is, and it's, finding that daylight and doing both sometimes is difficult if you hadn't had a whole lot of snaps during the season.
0-0 our score, 10:25 of the first quarter. And by the way, yesterday the JV game was canceled. Telfair scratched, and what would have been the last JV game of the season, it will not be made up. So the JV finishes the year 3-2, Bacon County. So good year for the JV. And they're going to stack the eye. No, they're going to offset one man again, and that's just an offset eye. Toss sweep, no, fake, play action, going deep right side, man-to-man coverage, broken up and now caught. Watch the flag, though. He's going to take it all the way in for the score, Perez Noble. If that was offensive pass interference, it, of course, comes back. If it was defensive pass interference, it'll be waved off. But Perez Noble just went 76 yards for a score.
Chris Noble, he went up, he timed it perfectly. The only problem was he tipped it.
How about that? Noble working against Noble. Offensive pass interference. Perez Noble pushed off on Chris Noble. Red Raiders bite a bullet there.
Yeah, that was a
dodge a bullet. That's what I meant. Yeah,
that was good. That's a good. It was very close. But that was a good effort by Chris Noble.
That's right.
And the other Noble.
We didn't know we were going to have to do that tonight, did we?
No.
So, again, a couple of hard luck teams throughout the season. Guys, you can look that have some speed and skill and some ability to play the game, and we expected this to be a very evenly matched team. The only win that either team has coming in, both handled Pelham fairly well. So that's going to back them up to the 15, and it's going to be 2nd down now and 20 for the Rebels. No score at 9:51 of the opening period. Even the cheerleaders were all the way down at the other end of the field, and now they've got to make the long trip back the other way. Tomorrow's Georgia-Florida, by the way. You think we'll talk about that some at the half?
Yeah, I'm quite concerned about that game.
We're a little concerned about this game, too. No relief until Sunday, in other words. One receiver to the right side from the stack eye again. Straight up the middle, that's Vickers. Into the teeth of that linebacking core, stopped around the 18.
I noticed Chris Noble just recovered the ball that was already blown dead, but that was a heads-up play by him. He did run it. That running back ran into the heart of the Bacon County defense.
Again, the Red Raiders are wearing the white uniforms tonight. Rebels are wearing all red versus all white. And I guess I'd rather have that than them splitting up red tops and white tops. That'd just make it more difficult, wouldn't it?
Yeah, can you say you think Georgia may pull that tomorrow?
Well, the rumor is, Coach Rick said they're not going to go the blackout, that it may be all red uniforms, and I kind of thinking that maybe they'll go just plain white pants for some reason. On 3rd down and 15 for the Rebels, Meeks sacked by Chris Murray. Murray, who's just been playing lights out, and that was Meeks that was in there that time, number 12. So I still don't know who 18 is, but we do know that Meeks is in there, though he did not start the game. The last couple games, you can tell Chris Murray is getting toward the end of his career. He knows he doesn't have any games left. He's making them all count.
He is, and I hope they enjoy every second of this game, because this is potentially the last game, especially in front of the home team.
And Chris Murray is the only player on this team that could play major college football. We know that first of all, the punt on 4th down, right footer, boots it away end over end, fielded cleanly by Danke Anderson, and still we do not have a punt return in 2008 by the Bacon County Red Raiders. They're going to set up shop, 1st and 10 at the 45. I'll finish what I was going to say. Reed Burkett has designs on going to Valdosta State. They looked pretty good last night. In fact, you look at Reed's size, 5'9", about 165. Their 3rd-string quarterback last night that did play, Russ Calloway, he's 5'10", about 180 pounds. I saw him play in high school, called many of his games. So definitely a player of that size can play at that level, and they certainly have an outstanding program.
How did that turn out last night? I started watching it and never finished.
Valdosta was up by about 3 touchdowns when I turned it off. I was more interested in that game than I was the Cincinnati game over on ESPN. No score at 7:55 of the opening period. 0-0 our score. Straight up the middle goes Reed Burkett. And I think they were trying to run that cocoon play again, David.
That looked a lot like that we saw every other play there in Pelham.
And he scored a touchdown on that play as well. Wow, they're only going to give him, 2 yards? No, they're going to move the stick now. And thought maybe his knee had gone down. They run the sneak. I don't know that I'd call that a straight sneak. By the way, Garrett Welsh coming out of the ball game, he missed last week, and we saw that wrap he had on his elbow and wondered what was wrong with him. And it turned out he was nursing a spider bite and did not play as a result of that. So the sophomore back in there tonight. 2-back set, early movement. The Rebels come crashing in, and I remember now last week when Burkett was hobbled. He hurt his ankle and actually finished the game. We saw him favored a little bit on the end of that play.
Yeah, he was driving hard going through the middle just now, and kind of concerned because he's favoring that leg already this early in the game, and it's a lot of time left.
David, don't you know too that in this cold weather, it's going to be against the Raiders, by the way. In this cold weather, it just kind of amplifies those aches and pains.
It does. You get popped on that spot that's already sore. It feels like somebody hit you with a sledgehammer.
You know what's funny? The so-called perfect fall weather is kind of a myth. It seems like we go straight from summer weather right into cold weather. You have to worry about heat cramps, then pulled muscles. There's never really any ideal weather anymore. And on 2nd down and 10, Taft, the fullback, gets his first call. He's stacked up, maybe even a loss on that play. Now bring up 3rd down.
He had a host of Atkinson County Rebels on him. They looked like Reed was trying to decide whether to pull that ball out of there and run it himself, but he decided to keep it with Taft.
6:47 of the first quarter, 0-0 our score. Red Raiders in the white. McCarty and Noble to the left side. 2-back set. Rolling left. Protection now for Burkett. Throws on the run and complete to a receiver for a 1st down. And that was McCarty coming up with it. That's a tough play to make, isn't it? Throwing on the run. You don't have a lot of high school quarterbacks that can do that.
Exactly. Rolling left and you're right-handed, that's difficult. He had 2 receivers out there. You could tell they were not expecting us to throw the ball. And we had, the guy couldn't guard both of them, so that was a beautiful play.
To the 34-yard line, a gain of 12, and DeQuan Smith checks into the ball game now. He's the change-up fullback. He'll be at the full with Tay Reynolds at the tail and showing blitz again. And I'm telling you what, that's not going to be tolerated. That is, we saw some shades of that area. Flags are all over the field. We saw that type of aggression early on. And the Raiders, you know, they don't very often lose their heads, and Scott Brown runs all the way out onto the field. But what happened earlier on that, we saw a guy blow in and hit Burkett with full blunt, and that's borderline right there. And you saw Ethan Hampton, the center, said, "You're not going to do that to my quarterback."
Right. It did look a little flagrant. I mean, the way he not only did he was the offsides, he went all the way through with the contact on a defenseless.
And it makes me wonder now, David, if the officials, if they're, I don't know at this point they're going to throw anybody out of the game this early, but I think they may go ahead when you see skirmishes like that, issue some warnings. And the team with the cooler head may be the one that prevails, because you've got to keep, it's unsportsmanlike on the defense, and they're also going to call it on the offense. It's going to offset, but let's see who was called offsides first. You cannot, with both of these teams with a possibility to play in the postseason, you got to keep your best players in there, and there aren't that many on the sidelines. You can't let your good guys get tossed out.
They look to have about the same amount of depth we have.
So the offsides penalty was against Atkinson County. They were not drawn off, and again, I thought that was a heads-up play by Scott Brown. He ran out there to calm his guys down, and that's the kind of stuff about Scott Brown that really impresses me. Football's an emotional game. You expect kids to react to that sort of thing.
Exactly. This you know, the coaches, they teach the mechanics and those kind of things, but you got to have the emotion to play this game. You don't just go out there half-cocked. And you know, talking about the coaches, I was listening to one of the players' parents talk about how on Sunday, just particularly this last Sunday, she didn't realize the coaches were up there on Sunday grading the films. You know, 8 hours on Sunday. Official timeout as Scott Brown is still talking. Oh, now they're going to say that it's the Red Raiders that call the timeout. Let's do the same at 6:19 of the first quarter. 0-0 our score, Bacon County and Atkinson County. 30-second break. You're listening to Bacon County Red Raiders football. .619 first quarter of play, 0-0 our score, Atkinson County and Bacon County, and the last snap of the ball, flags all over the place. 3 penalties actually, 2 offsetting for unsportsmanlike conduct, which came after the fact, offsides on Atkinson County. There's a couple of things that you can do when the other guy jumps offside like that. You can go ahead and take a knee, in which case if your quarterback gets hit, then it's an obvious case of a personal foul, of unsportsmanlike conduct, or you can try to run the free play. Now, we talk Georgia football. Georgia takes the, and Coach Rick said the reason he does that is that gives Matthew Stafford an opportunity to survey the field and see what tendencies they're going to do, and then he checks into another play if he sees a tendency and they're overloading on one side. I don't know that many high school programs would opt to go that way. Certainly in the case of Bacon County, you want to try to take the 5 yards if you can get it. But I was wondering why he took the knee.
He addressed it last week on the hotline, and I thought it made a lot of sense. And he said even, you know, you go back to or it was actually 2 weeks ago. If you go back to the Vanderbilt game, there was a play where Noshawn Marino's knee was down, and then the very next play they scored. In other words, they thought he scored. His knee was ruled down. The next play he scored to the other side, and it was a play that Stafford checked into because he had seen a tendency on one of those knee takedown plays. So I went kind of on a sidebar there about college football to explain some of the possibilities that can happen when you have a team that's offside. It's going to be 1st and 5 as we resume action. Red Raiders are in the white uniforms. They are at the Atkinson County 29-yard line. Clock rolls at 6:10. From the eye, Burkett underneath now. They're showing stunt in the middle. The give to the fullback up the middle. It's going to be a modest gain. Gain of about a yard.
You can tell that these teams have watched us actually tendencies of running up the middle. In fact, I heard that they had really watched a lot of our games, just kind of actually what you call it, through the grapevine.
Well, yeah, we'll think of it this way. They played each other in the last game of the regular season last year. They played each other in the preseason scrimmage. And they may even actually have an opportunity to watch them during an open week. And this time, nice gain, almost for a first down. Could be right around the 20-yard line by Tay Reynolds, who is running the ball well tonight.
Hey, he is running it very well. That's driving the ball. He looks real good running the ball.
watch a flag towards the end of that play. There was the mishandle, the fumble. I don't know if that was, we'd have to go back and look at that to tell if that was on the quarterback or on the tailback. It's going to back the Rebels up. It is going to be a first down for the Raiders, and it's going to move it inside the 20-yard line just a little bit further. Gets it to the 16, David.
What has Tay been playing offensively? Just at a wingback position mostly?
Well, he started out at tailback, and you remember the Wilkinson County game where he was ejected from that game, and then they went to McCarty, and that didn't bode very well because Michael was not very familiar. But this is probably the most significant amount of snaps Tay's gotten in a varsity game at tailback. Now, on the JV, he ran wild a couple of games. Different level of competition. Again, just a sophomore. And some shifting in the middle of the line. Burkett on the keeper. To the corner he goes. Into the end zone. Standing up. Touchdown. And the Red Raiders, as they have done several times this year, even last week, strike first. And they are on the board 6-0.
That was a good run by Reed. He actually ran that option and decided to keep it. And it was a good read on his part.
Swing the wicket gate here. Scored 2 on it last week because McCarty was uncovered. Now they're going to shift back, and Noble picks up the tee, and Tom Anderson set to try the PAT attempt. 16-yard touchdown run by Reed Burkett. Snap. Noble's got it down. Anderson, the kick is up, kicks through, and it's 7-0. Timeout at 5:07 in the first quarter. Bacon County 7, Atkinson County nothing. Let's pause for a 30-second break. You're listening to Bacon County Red Raider football. Bacon County 7, Atkinson County nothing. 5:07 of the first quarter, and Reed Burkett carries it in for the touchdown. And he leads the team in scoring, and I believe that was his 8th touchdown of the year just on offense. He's got one on defense as well. Tom Anderson, the PAT kick. And Sabron Mosby back to handling the kickoff chores. He's the freshman, the left footer, and he had some lower back injuries. Didn't think he was going to play a few weeks ago, and he is back out there again tonight. An onside kick, little squibber. This one's whistled dead, maybe offsides when you look where the flag was on the 40-yard line. I have seen more offside penalties on kickoff teams this year than ever before. It used to be something that only happened once in a blue moon.
Yeah, it was, like I say, I'm not sure if it's just a different formation they're getting into, or they're not paying attention. I haven't paid attention. Do we even have a guy that used to have a guy that raised his hand and kind of tell everybody when to go?
I think that's kind of yesteryear. You know, it's something that phased out without me even noticing it was gone until you mentioned it, to be honest with you. Yeah. I guess they figure that's one more guy that can cover downfield. So does Mosby boot it deep? No, he's going to try another onside kick. Oh, and they really punished the guy who fielded it. And the Rebels are going to have it at their own 47. Here come the flags, as you can imagine. 57. Let's give some props to him, Matt Cooper, a junior guard. And another flag towards the end there. Somebody said something, and this game could get out of hand at the rate we're going.
Like you said, you've got to play with emotion, but you also got to have some restraint. When you make a good play, don't make, like I always said, act like you've been there before.
Right.
And get on up and get back in the huddle.
Well, here's the difference between that and the hit on the quarterback. That was a completely legal play. Now, I heard someone, a college football announcer, here we go again with college stuff, talking the other day about how he didn't like the new wave onside kicks where the soccer-style kickers, Sabron kicks it straight on, where they skip it off the tee into the air, and a guy is just very vulnerable. But it's this is going to be against the Red Raiders, the unsportsmanlike. I can only guess because what was said after the fact, because that was a clean hit on the guy who received the ball, unless he took a knee and there was a whistle and then he got hit. But I don't know that thing would have happened so fast. Yeah. I don't know that you can expect the guy to pull back. And now here comes another flag. And this is going to be against Scott Brown. I understand officials needing to get a hold, but I mean, this is kind of getting ridiculous. mean, you look on the other side, you see Ken Stoudemire standing on the field as well. Coaches do it. They're not supposed to, but they do it, and it's one of those things that everybody pretty much overlooks. But, you know, as we're sitting here talking, I see the same thing going on the other side.
Yeah, he's probably letting him know. I guess they're just not going to allow any of that. You know, last week we had a guy, the coach from the other team stayed on the field last week.
And I think that's what Chuck Woodall is asking one of the officials as well. So they just keep backing the Red Raiders up. Now at the 39-yard line, 7-0, Bacon County leads at 5:04. And again, I can only hope that this foolishness stops right now as far as the unsportsmanlike penalties and whatnot. Because these guys have got to realize, you know, we talked about cooler heads prevailing. We got to make sure that the coaches are able to keep their composure as well.
It looks like the refs talking to both the captains and giving them, I guess, some instruction on what they're going to accept and not.
Well, I mean, again, you're playing for an opportunity to go to the playoffs, and that is something that for these seniors who have never been there before, you know, how do you quantify that? You've got to realize you live beyond today, and there are repercussions for actions. I think we're ready to play now from the stack eye again. Meeks has got it, going to feed to the deep back. Vickers scampers off the right side, and he's got a quick 5 yards, halfway to the first down.
You had several Raiders in on that stop. I saw Clint Burkett getting up. Couldn't tell who made the initial contact.
4:47 of the first quarter, 7-0 Bacon County leads. Red Raiders wearing the white uniforms on defense, with the Rebels moving right to left as we view the action from the home press box. Meeks did not start at quarterback. He's in there now. Again, the three-back setup. One receiver. Going to give to the fullback up the middle. Got a small hole. I see McCarty is there and some others after a gain of 2.
He had a host of Raiders that surrounded him on that. They're playing. Used to be like what we used to call the dogs. It seemed like they just gang tackle kind of thing, and that's what you got to have when you got, especially these guys have quickness. Now everybody we've played all season has quickness.
Hakeem Thomas, number 3, is another back who did some damage. The sophomore, he's the senior, and Tez Vickers is the junior. Both had good games in the scrimmage against Bacon County back in August. A receiver to the left side, he's got speed. That's Perez Noble. He matches up against Danke Anderson. Vickers has got it. He's met in the middle. Could be a first down. Burkett among those there on the stop.
And you had that was Tay Reynolds cutting up there from there too. He looked like he had him by a shoestring. That's what they got to do is when they do make contact, hang on.
Chains will move at 3:40 of the first quarter. Bacon up 7-0. It is a first down. And the Rebels on the move at the Bacon County 26-yard line. A drive assisted by numerous penalties. And so as we look at it now, I'm trying to see, well, Bacon County doesn't have any coaches on the sideline. I see one for Atkinson County on the sideline, and apparently that's going to be a point of enforcement tonight. Meeks, the handoff to the deep back, met in the middle as they again tried between tackles. McCarty and then Taft came up to help as well. And I see the coaches are indicating, do the jumping jacks. Do the side straddle hop, guys. I didn't know that was a coach's initiated thing. I thought that was something that the captains did.
Yeah. I guess anytime that, I mean, that's good. I mean, hey, whatever gets them excited and keeps them excited.
It keeps them warm between plays, too. I don't know that it's that cold down there. We're wearing the short sleeves up here in the press box, but it was a bit chilly at kickoff. Ball at the 25, 2nd and 9 after a gain of 1. And one man to the left side. Vickers off the right side. He's going to be close to a first down, driven out of bounds near his own, on his own sideline. Picked up, again, maybe a yard shy of the first down. Let's see. Spotted at the 18-yard line. 3rd and 1 it will be. Gets a good push to around the 10-yard line. It's going to be a first down, and it could be 1st and goal. We'll check the spot.
Rebels keep it. Quarterback keeper.
Looked similar to our offensive. Reed actually does the quarterback sneak, and he had a host of this guy had a host of Atkinson County Rebels pushing him down the field.
One indicator of how cool it might be outside, all but maybe 3 cheerleaders have the sweatpants on, and the other girls are wearing just the regular cheer skirts. By the way, they're at the region competition tomorrow. That's Saturday at Worth County High School in Sylvester. Meeks hands off to Vickers, going to run left side. Taft has got him by one hand and slows him up long enough for Corey Hatton to come over and a couple of others. Nice pursuit from behind there. You know, you don't expect a back that quick to get caught from behind.
Yeah, there's one thing about that back. If he's like most running backs, he's going to pretty soon probably want to get to the ground because he knows somebody's coming to clean up.
This game being heard on radio on WDMG, WAJQ. And of course the ATC Channel 15 South Georgia Sports Network Game of the Week, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. It premieres and is played throughout the week. And Noble to the left side at 127. That's Perez Noble for the Rebels. Vickers up the middle, twisting his way to around the 7-yard line. They keep running between the guards and having success there. And it's going to bring up second down, check that, third down at around 4.
It's eating up the clock, keeping it on the ground like we have. Both teams are doing that, running up the middle. And we're fixing to be in the second quarter before you turn around.
And let's call it the 7-yard line. Got to get to the 3 for a new set of downs. Perez Noble to the right side. They've got Vickers and Thomas in the same backfield. And they got that front guy lined up tight. In fact, it's kind of more of a reverse wishbone than it is a power I. Bursting through early is Dustin Taft, and he stops him for a loss. That's going to bring up 4th down for the Rebels.
But Taft had him in a bear hug.
Stop behind the line of scrimmage.
Then he had the rest of the defense all over him.
That's an appropriate description of bear hug.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he did. Good call, DJ. All right, that's going to back it up to the 10-yard line. So he lost, what, 3 on that play, 4th and 7. Seconds ticking off here. Should be the final play of the first quarter. And they are going to go for it. But first, the Raiders are going to call time with 10 seconds and some change. 10.6 ticks on the clock. 7-0 Raiders lead, and they take a 30-second break. And we do as well. You're listening to Bacon County Red Raiders football. And with 10 seconds left in the first quarter, Bacon County 7, Atkinson County nothing. We'll check in with Jason Taylor, our statistician, get the first quarter breakdown in just a few moments. Raiders are in white uniforms tonight, and again, that's just my premonition. I think the Dogs are going to come out tomorrow wearing all white as well. I hope they don't go with all red because that would not look good. And look, it's a different color red than what Atkinson County's got. They've got the blaze down the side. That doesn't look that bad. But anyway, that's a day away. The ball at the 10-yard line, 4th and 7. All the marbles on this play for the Rebels. Toss sweep right side. Vickers cuts it inside. Defenders there, and he gets into the end zone. Did he score? I still didn't see the official. I saw a hand go up. Did he step out of bounds? I said all the marbles. They could have gotten a first down on that rather than the touchdown, and I think that's exactly what they did. Where do they spot the football? Well, we got a guy out there trying to tee it up. I guess he scored. Did you see the touchdown signal? I saw a single hand go up, but they're going to say it evidently was a touchdown. And again, you watching on TV can tell a lot better than we can because of the angle. Meeks to hold. Cesar Torres to try the PAT. Snap in the hold, and the kick is up. And the kick's good, so we've got a tie ball game just like that with 3 seconds left in the quarter. 7-7 our score. Bacon County and Atkinson County. Let's pause for a 30-second timeout. You're listening to Bacon County Red Raiders football. Vickers scores from 7 yards out. Torres adds the PAT, and it's 7-7 Bacon County and Atkinson County with 3 seconds left in the first quarter. John DuPont and David Johnson. We do the action from Morris Johnson Stadium in Alma. Red Raiders are in white uniforms tonight. They usually wear that white color combination on the road. And with a loss tonight, the loser of tonight's game hosts next week, and the winner goes on the road to play, well, the terminology is play-in game, and a victory then would propel you into the state playoffs. And as Scott Brown mentioned it, you wouldn't think that, a 1-7 team at first glance would deserve an opportunity to play in the playoffs, but he feels like his guys have enough to where they could play and make some noise on that level. The kick return by McCarty up to the 34-yard line, a quick return of around 14. And we know that they have gotten some breaks and some things, ifs and buts. If they were candy and nuts, it'd always be a Merry Christmas, as we always say. Probably should have won the Jeff Davis game, scored first there. Scored first last week against Lanier County, could not hold. That was a horse of another color. Lanier County certainly, as there's a timeout on the field, we're going to keep it right here. Lanier County certainly a lot speedier than Jeff Davis. Jeff Davis, one of those AA teams that it's just the physicality. Excuse me, it's actually the end of the quarter. So it's the end of the quarter. It's 7-7. We'll pause for a 30-second timeout. You're listening to Bacon County Red Raiders football. Someone just called me on my phone and gave me a scoring up. Is it Coffee and Lowndes tonight?
Yes.
14-0 Lowndes. I don't know who it was that just called me or how they knew to call, but nonetheless, it's 7-7 here at Morris Johnson Stadium, and on the keeper, Reed Burkett, up to the 38-yard line.
Off the right side, cuts it up the middle.
And he can move the football on the ground. A couple of 100-yard rushing efforts against Pelham, 177. He had 120, no, I think it was 135 last week. So not showing any ill effects on that play with the ankle.
No, he got stopped. He ran straight up. I think it's when he starts cutting left to right or driving real hard. You have to put a lot of pressure on that ankle.
Haven't called on DeQuan Smith or Dustin Taft that much tonight. Tay Reynolds got quite a few touches. 2nd down and 6 for the Red Raiders. Ball shy of the 40-yard line. And that time it was Tay that got the call. He lost about a yard. Excuse me, I think it was DeQuan actually. Well, they're both in there, 20 and 40.
Yep. Tay was the pitch man.
Gain of a yard or two, it'll be 3rd down and 3 for our Red Raiders.
You notice we got some more cheerleaders down here.
I did notice that actually. I'm guessing those are flag cheerleaders, and I think there's actually supposed to be a flag football exhibition of some sort, or some sort of recognition at halftime. We look forward to that. 3rd and 3, not a bad spot when all was said and done. Receiver either side, and Danke Anderson in motion now. Rebels show blitz, and they may have actually jumped off sides. First guy through was number 9, who, surprise, surprise, not on the roster. And that's just one of the whimsies of high school football. And this late in the season, rosters tend to be, even if you got it at 3 o'clock that afternoon, tend to be nothing like what the cast actually is on the. You're right, you can laugh. It's actually comical.
Yeah, when you get a chance, I want you to tell us that Christmas, whatever you just said about nuts and cherries.
There were no cherries in there. If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, it'd always be a Merry Christmas.
Okay.
I wanted to take a look at the stat breakdown here. If Jason had it pulled up, I didn't give you that just a few moments ago. Maybe we'll get that in the next play. Jason's done a great job all year long. Raiders going to flip their tackles now with Murray and Anderson. Man in motion going to be Danke Anderson on 1st and 10. And DeQuan Smith carries for 2 yards. He's been a real plus coming in around game 3 of the season.
He has, and I mean, you got Tay Reynolds. It's like somebody getting up slow. It's Clint Burkett. But both running backs that we've got back there have played very well.
Vickers, the leading rusher at this point for the Rebels, 11 carries for 40 yards, and Tay Reynolds with 4 touches for 14 yards for the Red Raiders. Burkett 1 of 1 on the night, a 10-yard completion, and that went to Michael McCarty. That's the only pass thrown of the night. Both teams with 4 first downs on the evening, thanks to Jason. And I tell you, he's really got that stats down to a science. I use a paper and pen, and it's not always the most accurate thing. On 2nd and 8 now, nice run up the middle for yardage. Watch a flag. Actually, that's just somebody's towel that went up in the air, and Tay Reynolds carried to the Atkinson 44 for a first down.
You know, that was a great run, and what I'm noticing is you've got Clint Burkett's hobbling out there now, like he's injured one of his ankles.
Maybe it's just sympathy pain. Since his brother, yeah.
Could be.
The 44-yard line. Clint's going to be a good one, too. He had a catch last week, had that touchdown catch against Clinch County from his brother. That was a great moment. New tight end into the ball game. Tell you about him in a moment. Look at that right side. They've got a matchup with numbers, and they take advantage of it. We saw Atkinson County shift down on the right side. Bacon County, I think it was just luck of the draw. I don't think they checked into it necessarily, but again, with that read option, you do have some of that. Daquan Smith got to the 38-yard line. By the way, Dustin Crosby, 15 is the tight end now. Remember Marcus Shine, the starting tight end, the senior at the beginning of the year. He's not going to play the remainder of the year. That means Burkett's the starter, and Crosby, the freshman, who had a couple of catches in a JV game a few weeks ago. Burkett gets hammered, but not before he gets it off to a man on the right side. No gain there.
What I'm just trying to figure out where
Taft carried the ball, by the way. And here comes Clint Burkett back in. You were saying?
I was just looking for Danky Anderson. Where they got him playing at?
Well, we don't see him on the sideline. Danky again is one of those guys. Okay, yeah, he's off the field right now. He is one of those guys that can take snaps, that can line up at tailback, that can line up at receiver. And Chris Noble, the only other guy that can play that many offensive positions, though they have done some things with Reed Burkett when he's not under center. 7-7 our score, by the way. Burkett on the keeper on 3rd and 4 is not going to get enough here. It's going to bring up an interesting 4th down call. 7:50 of the first quarter. Red Raiders scored first, but Atkinson County matched them, and we are dead even with 7:42. We thought it would be a tight ball game. 2 1-win teams, both with their only win of the season against Pelham.
It is. We're kind of in the same position they were earlier on the 4th down. Maybe we can convert ours.
If the Raiders don't go with a hard snap count here, do they go to Taft, or do they run it with Burkett, who has had some success running the ball himself in situations like this? It's going to be close, but I think short. They went with Burkett, Taft left side to the 35, and he needed to get to the 34. I don't even know if this will get a measurement at 7:12, clock stops. I think I said first quarter a while ago. We're in the second quarter, by the way. So the defensive unit comes on. That was a gutsy call, but I think the right call. Again, anytime you're between the 40-yard lines, it's kind of a toss-up. And remember, last week we saw the fake punt with McCarty showing a little bit of an arm, and couldn't connect with Chris Noble. But if we'd be talking about it still. Well, we're talking about it now, but
yeah, it was a pretty play and a timely call. Just we didn't come up with it.
A little over 7 minutes in the second quarter. 7-7 our score. Bacon County and Atkinson County. Red Raiders are in the white tonight. Rebels run that stack eye with one receiver. Meeks going to pass left side, incomplete, overthrew Perez Noble. Danky Anderson was defending and getting some help from Tay Reynolds.
Yeah, he was double covered, but you know he's about a good 6-8 inches taller than those two guys. So if it's a jump ball, it's going to be kind of difficult for us.
He's not that much taller.
What I mean, maybe not.
He's not Paul Bunyan.
He's taller though. He's taller.
You were talking about metric inches, weren't you? Which I guess would be millimeters or nanometers or something.
Look him.
I didn't do well in calculus, so yeah. 2nd and 10, and that reverse wishbone look again. Vickers up the middle, and they finally hem him up at the 41-yard line.
He had several in on that tackle. Tay's involved.
About 6 yards on the play.
Looks like he had Chris Murray.
6:53 of the second quarter, 7-7 our score. You know, I was watching a replay of the 1980 Georgia-Florida game the other night, and talking about people that do what we do for a living. Well, we don't do this for a living, but broadcasters. I'm probably one of the few people that missed Munson's call live because I was listening to the TV version.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I had access to. And I'd completely forgotten until 28 years later that Al Michaels did the play-by-play of that game. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that in just a minute. Let's call this is really back to more of that power eye look. Toss sweep right side. Vickers cuts it in. They've got a nice seal on the corner, but good pursuit by the Red Raiders. Tay Reynolds and Dustin Taft.
Yep, Tay's involved just about every play. It's got a guy getting up slow. He got popped pretty good when Tay came through.
4th down and about 1.5. I was talking about the 1980 Georgia-Florida game. Earlier that year at Lake Placid, Al Michaels had the great call, the Miracle on Ice. Do you believe in miracles with the U.S. hockey team? And again, because I'd forgotten that he was calling that game, when Lindsey Scott crossed the goal line, the 93-yard touchdown pass from Buck Bellew, he said, "Do you believe that?" So 2 of the great sports plays of that year, similar calls, and the same guy behind the mic.
Little trivia here.
Little trivia, useless trivia. So now on 4th down at about 2, the Rebels going to go for it, and they just drew the Red Raiders offside.
Yeah, and you could tell we were reluctantly coming back across our side because we knew we were caught on that one.
I can say at least it looks like cooler heads are prevailing down there now. We're not seeing some of that aggression, some of that unbridled aggression that we saw earlier from both sides.
You know, it's amazing because I can remember our coaches telling us, heck, if you're going to jump off sides, go ahead and hit the guy. I remember them. Probably wasn't supposed to teach us that, but hey,
well,
it's football.
But you know, but coaches look at things from a different standpoint. They feel like they can take a guy who's very aggressive and bring him down the level he needs, and it's much more difficult to inspire a guy to those type of heights. Meek's going to throw. It's a wobbly pass, and underthrown. Could have come up with it by Danky Anderson. No, he trapped it. Anderson with 3 interceptions this year, had 2 in one game, defending well against Perez Noble.
You know, that's pretty hard to do. A lot of folks don't realize when you got a guy running out there trying to defend that receiver that's running wide open, you got to read his eyes to see when he looks back at the ball, and then you got to look back and try to figure out where that ball's at so you can try to intercept it or knock it down.
7-7 our score at 5:12 of the second quarter. There's a couple of guys standing down near the hedges on the home side. One of them's got his face painted up, and I don't think he's a high school student. So that's just a hardcore fan.
Yeah, I think that's Mr. McCarty's relative.
2nd down and 10 from their own 49. Disruption in the backfield. Red Raiders have got it. McCarty, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Michael McCarty. He's got another touchdown, and his first on defense this year. That is the 3rd formal return for a touchdown this season by the Red Raiders, and they've got the lead back. We just gave him some positive mojo, didn't we?
I'm telling you. And Chris Murray helped make that possible. He blew through there and knocked the fire out of that guy. And a ball popped out, and heads-up play by Mike McCarty.
There's no doubt about it. It was all Chris Murray making that happen. And look at this. The quick toss to DeQuan Smith into the end zone. Now they're going to whistle this dead. I don't guess that was a legal play, or maybe they had not whistled the ball ready for play. Hey, they're pulling out all the stops here.
What do we call this formation they're lining up in here?
I've heard it called the polecat, not the polecat, but the shoestring, the wicket gate, a lot of different things. But what you want to try to do is on the other side over there where McCarty is, to the top of the screen, if you're watching on TV at this point, you want to try to get him uncovered and make the quick pass because he's the end man on the line. Every time I see DeQuan Smith move about, I wonder if he's limping around. I just think that's just the way he struts. The snap of the hold and the kick is, could it be short? No, it's through. It looked like maybe there was a little hitch at the front of that thing, but Tom puts it through the uprights to make it 14-7 at 5:01 of the second quarter, and we take a 30-second break listening to Bacon County Red Raiders football.
Our Red Raiders.
Jason Taylor tells me that was a 39-yard fumble return by Michael McCarty for the touchdown. And reliable Tom Anderson puts it through. It's 14-7. Red Raiders got the lead back at 5:01 in the second quarter.
You can tell we've got some excitement up here in the stands. And, well, maybe some of it because the cheerleaders are throwing footballs, but folks are standing up anyway.
Yeah, that's a good sign, and it's a good crowd on hand here. I mean, even Atkinson County, that crowd's picked up a little bit from the get-go. Didn't think they were going to have a lot of folks. Yeah, that's what they do here at Morris Johnson Stadium after touchdowns. They throw the footballs into the stands. So Bron Mosby, another ground ball fielded by Perez Noble. Right side, he is cut down around the 40-yard line by DeQuan Smith, and he got another 5 yards. They figured out a way to get the ball in his hands. He's got deadly speed. Before it's over with, I don't know if they put him into a slot or something, but they've tried to get the ball to him downfield and have not been able to do it. I think with the routes that it takes him to get up to full speed, Meeks can't quite chunk it that far.
Yeah, he had a problem trying to get the ball to him. He was, he had a step on Danke earlier, and I guess that was the same receiver.
If he's got a step on Danke Anderson, he's pretty quick.
He is. Danke's one of the faster guys on our team.
And ball at the Atkinson 44-yard line. One man to the left side, and go back to that power eye look. Hand off Vickers left side. He's got room to run, and he picks up 3 yards. He comes through that line of scrimmage standing tall, kind of like Eric Dickerson used to be, and it looks like he's running wide open. But the Red Raiders have done a good job pursuing upfield and catching up with him after minimal gains.
Yeah, they've got Tay Reynolds in a great position where he's kind of middle of the field, or I'm just going to look when he lines up now, see where they exactly have him. But he is in on just about every tackle because of his speed. He's able to react.
14-7 our score. Bacon County leading Atkinson County, 4:22 of the second quarter. And we notice Clint Burkett comes out again. Dylan Tillman, the freshman, in at the inside linebacking post. And Vickers gets the call, left side, maybe got a yard, maybe to midfield. Clint Burkett is a guy that has been a steady contributor in terms of his blocking ability, in terms of his tackling ability, as just a sophomore. Going to be at the 49-yard line, third down and around 6 to go with 3:58 left in the second quarter. Raiders in the white uniforms leading 14-7. Trey Gibbs into the ball game now, and Dylan Tillman going to come off after a play. Gibbs is a guy that, they're going to use him in the middle of the D-line, usually either a defensive end or an outside pass rushing specialist. Mix up in the backfield. Meeks gets it off to a back, though, and this is going to be busted. He may have gotten a yard, but it's going to bring up fourth down.
We were told that by one of our coaches that the offensive, maybe he meant the offensive line could not push the running back to get yardage. He could actually get behind them and they could push the line. But
They can't if they get caught.
That's true.
Hey, let me tell you something. As I played offensive line, you talk about coaches telling you things you shouldn't do. I'm not going to say I was ever told to hold a guy. I'm not going to say that. But
they tell you how not to get caught.
The ball is at the Red Raider 49-yard line. Going to be 4th and 3 with 2:58 left in the second quarter. They'll kick it away with Danke Anderson, the single safety. And he's going to signal for a fair catch, and he's got it at the 21-yard line. I really thought that might be the first return of the year, but they got down there pretty quick. 28-yard kick, no return. And that was Reed Burkett slow getting up. 2:51 left to go before the half.
He really doesn't have a chance to rest. You've got him just about on every team, whether it be the kicking team, the punt receiving, or the punting team. So
well, that's a great thing about having Sabron back in there handling kickoffs. It means Reed doesn't have to do it, so he does get, he does come off the field there. And McCarty comes off. Welsh is into the game. So is Noble. Danke Anderson comes in now, and Reed Burkett coming off. And that means Danke Anderson will be taking the snap at quarterback now. Sometimes we see them in the same formations. And guess what? Clint Burkett back in there at the tight end. Receiver to the left side for the Raiders. Watch the pressure up the middle. Hand off, tailback, and they go to the middle. A gain of about, maybe a yard.
Defensively, Atkinson County is really lining up. the way they're lining up, they're not anticipating any kind of pass play, obviously.
Tate on the carry that time. And the Red Raiders don't throw the ball a lot. It is the triple option. Some people call it a veer, but it's a triple option. The nuances are very similar, and so they don't throw it, and they don't have a lot of deep routes, some intermediate routes at best. But one thing that we do know, they've got a bag of tricks, which includes an end-around pass, which we saw against Terrell County many weeks ago. That was a lot of fun. Now they're going to split Clint Burkett out on the left side. He's the lone receiver with twins at the top. And that time Reed back in there on the keeper. No gain, though. Bringing up 3rd down and 9 with 1:56 left in the half.
And again, keeping the ball on the ground like we do eat up that clock. Time of possession, I don't know that we haven't led the whole season against all of our opponents as far as who's had the ball longest in the game.
Keeping the fresh legs in there, Daquan Smith comes off with Garrett Welsh, and back into the ball game is Dustin Taft. McCarty joins the twin set to the left side with Noble. Reynolds carried last time around. He's in there along with Daquan Smith with Reed Burkett under center at 3rd and 9. Protection, going to throw it. Pulls up now. Is he going to run it? Yeah, he's not going to be able to do anything with it. He's going to have to eat it. And a loss of about 3. Minute 15 left. Raiders will have to kick it away and hope that they can hold this 14-7 lead going into the locker.
He had a couple guys open there, but he could. Like our announcer saying, he did the smart thing. You kind of want to make something happen sometimes, and you're just better off to eat it.
1:12 left in the second quarter. 14-7, Bacon County leading Atkinson County, and we'll pause for a 30-second break. You're listening to Bacon County Red Raiders football. .112 left before the half. 14-7, Bacon County leads Atkinson County. Red Raiders will have to punt it away in just a moment. Winner of this ball game plays for the right to go to the state playoffs next week. The loser will play in a consolation matchup in what really just amounts to the final regular season game. McCarty stands inside his own 10, around the 6-yard line. The line of scrimmage, meanwhile, is the 20, and it's a short wobbly kick, left side. Going to take a nice roll up to the 49-yard line. He actually got around 31, 32 yards out of that when all was said and done. Let's see, 102, Ken Stoudemire, his clock management, utilization of speed. The Rebels able to get on the board here going into the half. Remember, the Red Raiders would get the ball to start the second half. They kicked off, and Atkinson County fumbled the opening kickoff. First time they touched the ball, Raiders coughed it up 2 plays later. But we've seen 3 touchdowns tonight. The last one was a defensive score by the Raiders. A punt return for a score by Michael McCarty. Rebels wearing the red. Raiders wearing the white. And Rebels will send 3 receivers to the right side. And from the gun with Meeks. Well, there's the answer to my question there. Vickers back there with him, protection. Now they're going to let him through. Middle screen is batted away by Chris Murray. Raiders did a good job sniffing that out. I mean, throwing the ball, they just haven't had success with the downfield passing game, and I think the Raiders knew that. That was a middle screen from the get-go. Nice job again. Right place, right time for Murray.
Big Murray, he's a big guy to try to throw around. And we had several other guys in there too.
That's a good point. You can't really throw around him. He plays baseball, and he's a catcher, so he's a big target for his pitchers. He would be a good first baseman as well with that tall frame. But
I'd hate to have to run over him at the plate.
Well, there's another upside to having him back there. They're going to go with a 4-receiver set. Actually call it 3 receivers with a stand-up back to the right and to the left for protection. Meeks to throw again, we think, on 2nd and 10. Here comes the rush, left side, in and out of the hands by Noble. He really didn't make that was only a half-hearted effort to come up with that. That hit him in the hands. He should have caught that ball, and he should be looking at 3rd and 7 instead of 3rd and 10.
He heard those footsteps that you hear. When you glance and you know that guy wearing that white jersey is right there pretty close. And Reed Burkett went ahead and hit him anyway.
From the 49-yard line. 55 seconds left in the half. Raiders in the white leading 14-7. A win and they go on the road and travel a long ways from home next week for Week 10. A loss and they stay home and play the number 4 team from the other side of the region for pretty much pride. Rebels call time. We'll do the same with 55 ticks left in the half. 30-second break. Listen to Bacon County Red Raiders football. And with 55 seconds left before the half, Red Raiders leading 14-7. Atkinson County with a crucial third down. Go back to that last play. The sort of give-up drop there by Perez Noble reminded me. You said he heard footsteps. Reminded me of a play last week, Georgia and LSU. And Rashad Wright, who played point guard for the Dogs a few years ago. But Rashad Jones, who's done a great job in the secondary for Georgia, and had a great game against LSU. Late in that game, sort of a give-up touchdown. Makes me wonder if he's going to play tomorrow. I mean, you play so brilliantly, and then just one of those types of things where you avoid the lick, or you put your shoulder into the guy, or you drop the football. Certainly can't have plays like that in games of this magnitude. 3 guys to the right side, and Meeks under center. Going to put Vickers in motion left side. They're going to swing it to him. They tie up McCarty. He's off the corner. Could have the first down at the 40-yard line. Out of bounds there. I see a yellow flag at the end of the play, unless that was the marker. We can't tell through the several sheets of, I don't know what this is, polypropylene or something.
Plexiglass, I think.
Yeah.
But it's scarred up pretty bad on both sides. And
holding against Atkinson County. Whatever it is, did you ever see Star Trek 4?
I don't know if
our camera guys, Tim and the Bill, they're geeks. They probably watched it. We love you guys, but anyway, what does it say about me? I know. Anyway, it's the stuff that Scotty was trying to build that whale tank out of. It's, I don't know if you can hear it, but anyway, I'm probably just alerted everybody in this stadium. It's pretty thick. And by the way, penalty on the play. Hey, you might as well have fun with this. This is high school football.
That's exactly right. But like I say, it's just difficult for us to see inside this booth what happens on the other side. But like I say, probably the folks that's watching on TV can tell because they'll zoom in on it.
So don't think we're crazy. Ball is a length inside the 50-yard line, 36 seconds left, and no sense of urgency right now. Rebels break the huddle. They could get a couple of quality snaps. 14-7, they trail. Now they're going to bring in Noble tight. Going to bring in everybody tight now. Clock down to 25. Meeks from the shotgun, right side. Going to throw it in the flats. He better get rid of it or he's going to get hammered. He does to Vickers, who gets collared, or rather gets corralled at the ankle at the 41-yard line. That was Chris Noble on the stop. It was a first down, and the clock stops at 14 seconds. Now they're going to do the hurry up, and you'll see Meeks spike the ball.
Chris Noble teed off on him.
He's still trying to get folks. Look at the Raiders in the prevent, meanwhile. They are dropping 8 defensive backs. Now they're going to walk some folks up. Clock starts now. And he goes ahead and he spikes it. Did he get it off in time? Or did somebody line up in the neutral zone? There were flags. It's against Atkinson County. You know, it's very low percentage when you get in situations like this and you don't have timeouts. And, you know, again, it's considered the skill level. With high school, you're talking about kids who are 14, 15, 16 years old, only been playing varsity a couple of years. It's not like college and NFL where you can expect them to line up and run everything crisply and flawlessly. First down and 15 at the 42, and now they spike it. And 74, Chris Murray. I mean, he was ready to lay the wood to him. But again, remembering what happened early on in this ball game with the unsportsmanlike fouls on the offsides. 8.9 ticks, 14-7. Red Raiders, they're in the white. I'm telling you, Georgia's going to come out tomorrow in the white pants and white jerseys. I feel it.
Coach Callanan just told us that he heard it was 14-0 at the half with Coffee and it's Lowndes.
I'll tell you what, Lowndes has been ruling the roost down there between them and Valdosta, but nobody's touching Coffee these days. Wanted to throw it to Vickers, no. Left side, now he's got it to Noble, and he's just ping-ponging off of people, and Clint Burkett finally stopped him at the 20. With 0.6 seconds left, though, it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 20. They're going to have time to throw it once into the end zone, maybe.
You know, these guys, Bacon County Raiders are making some great hits. They just did not lock up, and he almost broke free.
David, I'm sorry, I don't know if he's going to be able to get a chance. Here comes the flag here. With 0.6 seconds left, once they whistle that thing ready for play, I don't know if he can take that snap quickly enough and execute a play. And just a few minutes ago, we saw them incur an offside penalty as they tried to line up quickly. Maybe if they'd show just a little more urgency back when it was 33 seconds. Meek's going to come to the sideline and get the play from Coach Stoudemire. And this is against the Red Raiders. Oh, that's a big penalty, unsportsmanlike penalty. And again, I can only guess somebody said something because there was no action on that last play. Wow. And we're seeing that a lot tonight, as we mentioned, at the 14. So they're in the red zone if they get the snap off and can execute the play. Perez Noble, he just had a catch a minute ago. He's number 15 to the bottom of the screen. The Red Raiders with Daquan Smith. Check that. That's Tay Reynolds, the deep back. I don't know if they have enough players out there the way Meeks is looking around. Actually, they may have too many. They wind the clock now. So there's the final. There's the horn. They are not going to be able to snap it. 14-7. Raiders lead as they go into the half. When we come back in just a moment, the halftime show, Bacon County 14, Atkinson County 7. You're listening to Bacon County Red Raiders football.
game is brought to you by SGSN and WDMG 860 AM, The Talk of the South, with 97.9 The Big Dog. This game is sponsored by C. Bennett&Johnson Insurance, for everything you hold dear. This game is also sponsored by Family Vision Care, for a lifetime of vision health since 1955. This game is also sponsored by Jay's IGA, hometown proud, go Raiders. This game is also sponsored by South Georgia Diagnostic and Prevention Center, with Doctors Clay Carter and Lou Ellen Hutchison.
And I'd love to see them mix in some of that play action like they did earlier. That pass that was completed was, we've not seen it. I don't think we've seen it since. But that mixes it up and it opens up. Because they got to honor that pass a little bit. It does put them on the heels a little bit. But they're fixing to get started, so they're fixing to find out where we're going.
We will soon have all the answers to all the questions. And the Red Raiders get set to receive the second half kickoff, and limping out there like Willis Reed in the NBA Finals in 1971 with a bum ankle. And I'm really pulling out all the nostalgia now. I'm talking about Clint Burkett, who was hobbled earlier, and he's up there on the front line. And I wonder if maybe Atkinson County tries for that onside kick, as we've seen Bacon County do a couple of times. Torres is one of those soccer-style kickers, so he's probably can get some pretty good distance on a kickoff. And again, considering that if the Red Raiders score on this first drive, it's a two-possession game, I'm going to predict instead that they'll kick it deep, and I would be wrong. They do try the onside kick, and they're going to recover it. Corey Hatton, I think, was content to let it go, forgetting that was a live ball after 10 yards. And as long as he touched it before he went in bounds, they recovered. So I should have stayed with my original answer.
So the Rebels have the ball.
They've got it at the Red Raider 40-yard line. So that was just a wasted.
We got some.
Well, check that. I stand corrected. The offense comes out. Well, the ball went 10 yards, but I guess he touched it as it went out of bounds. Well, let's not look a gift horse in the mouth. Raiders have got it with a relatively short field. So we'll just pack that thought away and thank the lucky stars. Raiders going to keep it. Bursting through the middle. Burkett that time picked up 8 yards, and towards the end there he might have gotten more. He ran into Charlie Gillis, who had his back turned to Burkett.
He just manages to keep driving those legs, and he finds a little daylight. Nobody locks up. He's going to get some yardage.
Danke Anderson checks in. Tay Reynolds comes off. Reynolds with 26 yards rushing at the half. Doesn't sound like a monster total, I know, but it's the most he's had at this point. I think it actually tops his season rushing total. From the eye, blitz off the left side. Raiders going to push it on the right side. And fumble at the end of that play, and Rebels say they have it. Not seen the official indication yet, but a red shirt came up with it. Unless he was down by contact. Nope, Rebels do come up with it now. And, I wasn't trying to be prophetic, but we have seen it happen so many times this year. It's been an Achilles heel for the Red Raiders, where they get a lead, they get the ball to start the second half, and they cannot play good ball control, so they cough it up here.
Yeah, that turnovers have just killed us this season.
All right, at the 46-yard line, there's the guy with the war paint making his way down towards the hedges again. Last time we pointed him out, McCarty made a big play. Rebels will go the stack guy. Going to hand it to Vickers, the deep man. He's got a hole left side and 5 yards, and he's brought down in the middle. Actually brought down by Chris Murray.
Takes it down to about the 48.
Murray, a down lineman, making a stop in the middle.
I noticed Reed had him by one shoe, and if that's the same jersey, it's ripped. That he had in, what county was that in?
I think it was Miller County where we first noticed the rip in his jersey, in his road jersey. And they're wearing the road whites here tonight. Rebels are the visiting team, but they're wearing the red jerseys. Red Raiders in the white. It's second down and 44, maybe 4.5, but let's call it the 46-yard line, 47, excuse me. And this time Akeem Thomas carries to the 41-yard line, and that will be a first down. Haven't called on number 3 very often tonight.
That power eye formation, they line up very close to the quarterback. And he's got 3 guys he can option to. Either give it to the deep back or the middle back or the front guy. It's just hard to figure out who's going to have the ball.
Trey Gibbs into the game now. Clint Burkett comes off, so they're using him sparingly with that hobbled ankle. Receiver to the right side. They'll put a couple of men on him. They're going to give it to Thomas, a bit of a draw. He's got room up the middle. May have gotten to the 36-yard line. Where do they spot it? Got knocked down around the 38.
So what, Danke Anderson and Tay Reynolds made a good tackle on that. Danke made the first contact and Tay helped wrap it up.
And how good is it to be able to say that when you talk about gang tackling and effort tackling?
Yeah, we've had some problems with that over the season, but this game especially, they're locking up when they hit, at least hanging on.
Call it the 37. Rebels moving left to right. They're in the red. Red Raiders are in the white. 14-7. Bacon County leads 9:34 of the third quarter. Meeks turn, going to hand off. No, going to keep it. Not a good choice for him as he pays the price off the left side. Red Raiders too numerous to mention. Ethan Hampton was one of them. We haven't called his name tonight, so we'll call that one.
Yeah, that was a good example of gang tackling on that play.
Hampton's 56, the defensive end, and Dustin Taft, man, number 4. You can't say enough about him. Dustin has played both ways. He had to learn a new position, I think, on the Tuesday of the first regular season game, moving from offensive line to fullback. And he's played both ways all year long. 3rd down and 9, a loss of a couple there. Back to the 40-yard line at 8:48 of the third quarter, 14-7. Red Raiders lead. Flop the receiver, that's Perez Noble. Meeks going to turn the handoff to Vickers this time, and he is cut down at the 35. He gets off the line of scrimmage quickly.
He's one of those guys we better hang on to when he goes through there. He's kind of hobbling off the field now, but he has exceptional speed, or at least quickness.
The one guy that I can think of that had better speed from the first step was Sheffield, the kid from Miller County.
Yeah, he was all about, what, 5'6", 5'7", and
he was a bullet. They're going to go for it, or so we think, on 4th and 4. The ball at the Red Raiders' 36-yard line. Stack eye again. Turn a handoff to the tailback. Hurdles a man, and he winds up at the 29-yard line. Looks like Akeem Thomas did pick up the first down. So that's a gutsy move that paid off. Gibbs back in for Burkett now. So the Red Raiders backing up, moving in the wrong direction. 14-7. They have the lead, though. Clock stop, 7:56 in the third quarter.
They have a pretty good bit of talent in that backfield, speed-wise. Got several, any of those guys they can get the ball to.
That's a good problem to have, too much quickness. But only one guy can carry at a time. At the 29 now, new set of downs. Meeks gives to a man who runs over people to the 24-yard line. Thomas, that time, and Tay came up to meet him, but Tay took the brunt of that force. And it took a couple to bring him down. They're looking strong on offense now.
Yeah, he is definitely a power runner for that offense. And I guess you'd take number 34, Vickers.
You know, we have the Red Raiders call timeout. Let's keep it right here. You mentioned he's a power runner. That's true. You look at a guy that size, you always expect a guy like Dustin Taft. You can look at him and you can tell some thickness to him as a runner. You expect that to be the guy that's a power runner. But sometimes you've got these little guys who maybe they're not beefy, maybe they weigh about $150 or $160, but they're unafraid. That's the kind of runner he is. Talking about Akeem Thomas.
Exactly, and he's probably got some speed if he ever gets a chance to break loose, which is kind of scary when you got a guy that's got power. You know, the power, ability to be strong up the middle and can get outside on you. Kind of like a little Herschel Walker maybe.
And again, in the controlled scrimmage in week 1, which was really kind of an accident, to be honest with you. Bacon County was supposed to play Telfair, and Atkinson County was supposed to play Jeff Davis, and both their opponents scratched due to whatever tropical storm system was in the area back then. So these, as I put it, these teams decided to take each other to the prom. So Atkinson County came over to play Bacon County, and they had a good night running the football, 261 yards on the ground. Remember, we didn't expect to see Danke Anderson in that game. We didn't expect to see him until game 3 of the regular season, and we saw him make his debut in that scrimmage. 2nd and 5. Thomas got 5 last go-round. Now he'll carry again to the 20-yard line and what may be another first down.
Yeah, they found a good combination now, running him up the middle and actually using number 34, Vickers, trying to get outside. And when you can get outside, it opens up the middle.
Yeah, the term is that I've used is change up, and just as what the Red Raiders do with DeQuan Smith spelling Taft at fullback. That's what the Rebels have done, giving Vickers a little bit of a breather. And they're going to go to Thomas again to the 18-yard line. He didn't get the first down on the other play, didn't get the good spot. He may have gotten it then at 6:29 of the third quarter, 14-7. Bacon County leads Atkinson County.
This is working for them. You got to wonder, though, if they've got a play-action pass sitting out there waiting on us to suck us in there on this. They run up the middle every time in that I formation.
Did not get the first down, David. It's going to be 4th down and inches. Let's call it the 19-yard line. 6:09 in the quarter, and wisely taken timeout. Coach Stoudemire going to talk about it. 6:09 in the period, and we'll do the same. 30-second break and listen to Bacon County Red Raiders football. 6 minutes since the change up in the third quarter. Bacon County protecting a 14-7 lead over Atkinson County, and it's 4th and inches. The Atkinson County Rebels calling timeout just a moment ago. And strategizing there. Some strategery. That's a word now. That is now a word in the American lexicon. All right, Meeks brings them up under center. Going to stack the I. Will he keep it? What's he going to do? Yep, he's going to stuff it. I don't know. He took about half a step. Rebels seem to think they've got it, but I'm not so convinced. He took about half a step before he got stood up. Okay, well, he did break the threshold of the line of scrimmage then. He knew what he was talking about. 1st and 10 for the Rebels.
He kind of went left. He probably got in behind that guard and just fell forward, and that actually was all he needed.
All right, the 18-yard line now. 5:48 of the third quarter. Bacon County 14. Atkinson County 7. Extra points are so critical at this point. Nobody can miss one. And we knew it was going to be a tight ball game. I think the Journal-Herald even said that this is going to be the game of the week in the area. Don't forget, you can catch the write-up locally in the Alma Times each and every week. Hand off to Vickers. Here come the flags, though. This play will never get off the ground. And there's a sign of a team leader. You saw you saw Meeks go after Vickers there and pull him back. Apparently, there may have been some folks jawing around there, and he went and protected his guy. That's a real heads-up play. Check the call here. And it's going to be against the Red Raiders. March off another 5 on the false start. Can't be making those you can't be giving them anything in the red zone.
It'll be 1st and 5.
At what point did the red zone become a football terminology? Did you guys use that when you played? I don't remember it back in the 80s. I don't remember it being it may have come to light about then. They're in the red zone, inside the 15. I don't know what that is, the blue zone or whatever. I think it's still all considered red zone. Early movement again. I think this is going to be against the Red Raiders also. And they're spinning their wheels, anxious to get off the ball, which is a good thing. However, you got to play disciplined.
Everybody's pointing at each other, so.
They're going to get it back. I was going to say, though, it would have given them a first down. And I know that would have just made Scott Brown livid. You don't want to give somebody a first down, back-to-back offsides penalty. So they get the 5 yards back, Red Raiders do. Back to the 18-yard line. That's the Bacon County 18-yard line. 5:13 left in the third quarter. Red Raiders lead 14-7. Timeout called on the field. Let's do the same. 30-second break. You're listening to Bacon County Red Raiders football. one possession game here in Alma, 14-7. Bacon County leading Atkinson County, 5:13 left in the third quarter. Rebels are on the march. They are at the Bacon County 18-yard line, and don't forget this game. You can catch the write-up in pages of the Alma Times. Appreciate Jason Taylor, our statistician, for his help with that. The South Georgia Sports Network, Channel 15 on ATC. Cable package, 7 p.m. Tuesday. It makes its debut each week and plays throughout the week. You watched the Lanier County, Bacon County game a few times during the week, I bet, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I've watched it. There's a lot of Nabil and Tim. They've got some. I don't know what they call it, but it's a little.
And there's the other guy now, and he's kind of like the third tenor. He's the other guy, and I'm sorry, I can't ever remember. All right, Rebels at 1st and 10, swapping offside penalties. Meeks turns, hands to Vickers, goes down at the 15-yard line. Again, he comes through the line of scrimmage high, and it sort of just went to his knees.
Yeah, he's just an accident waiting to happen there. I can tell you, he comes through there, you know it's just any second he's going to burst and break loose. But so far, our guys have held on and kept him at bay.
I haven't seen anything strange happen tonight. A lot of time, I've seen a lot of Halloween games. Gain of 2, by the way. This is October 31st. This is officially Halloween. I think some towns in the area had trick-or-treat last night. They had it in downtown Alma today. But I've seen some bizarre things happen, like literally. Black cats on the field, lights going out, all kind of crazy stuff. Toss sweep to Vickers. He is stood up in the backfield, a loss of at least 2. Chris Murray there, Michael McCarty there, Corey Hatton there. Big-time defensive play that time.
Yeah, those running backs just hate to meet up with Mike McCarty because he's pretty aggressive.
We nicknamed him the Mad Stork. We haven't really used it, but we called him that early in the year because he plays linebacker and he wears number 83 like Ted Hendricks for the Raiders. And he's long and lanky like Hendricks was.
You know who else he reminds me of? I was looking at him from here.
Yeah.
Tom Eccles.
Of course. I don't know if Tom was that fast. Tom's one of David's old high school teammates. But you like to see that kind of aggression. 3rd and 11. Meeks, is he going to throw? Wants to go left side, pumps it. He's got to get rid of it now. Bails out of the pocket, and he can run. Cross midfield. He's going to be close to a first down. I think just shy of it. Stopped it around the 10-yard line. Nice broken field running by Meeks.
It was, and he just lowered his head. He's a pretty tough guy. He didn't try to run around anybody right there at the end. He was going for that goal line and lowered his head and made it pretty difficult to tackle.
It's going to be 4th and 3, ball at the 10-yard line. They're going to have to go for it here, obviously. And I don't know if this is one of those situations where they can get some inflection on a snap count. Field goal doesn't do you any good. You got to go for it. What's the play call? Noble goes to the left side. Are they going to go to number 3? They're going to go to number 34. Meeks brings them up. And they are going to go with a hard snap count. Now they're going to call timeout, and the Red Raiders doing a good job of discipline on defense there, and now Ken Stoudemire is going to have to figure it out. With 2:52 left in the third quarter, got a good one here in Alma. 14-7 our score. Bacon County leading Atkinson. Let's take a 30-second break. You're listening to Bacon County Red Raiders football. It's 14-7, Bacon County leading Atkinson County. John DuPont, David Johnson with you, and our studio producer is Roland Lott. Our statistician extraordinaire is Jason Taylor. On the radio side, WDMG AM 860, the talk of the South, and AM 1400 WAJQ carrying this broadcast, and Channel 15 ATC on the TV side. 4th and 3. They tried to draw the Red Raiders off sides, didn't work. Now they're going to have to run the play here. With just under 3 minutes left in the third quarter, and the Rebels trailing. Now flags here. Looked like Scott Brown may have tried to call timeout. A procedure penalty is going to go against the Rebels. That's the last thing you wanted here, and that's going to be 4th and 8.
What is it? This is a key drive in this ball game, and I think is that the second timeout that the Rebels have already used.
I believe you're right on that. They back up to the 15-yard line. I don't know if this maybe even expands the playbook a little bit. I think the way Vickers and Thomas have run the ball, that's the way to go. But maybe we haven't. If they've got any type of a screen pass other than the one middle screen that they ran that didn't work, anything off the flats, they haven't shown that out of their playbook yet. But that's something that you could definitely use in this case. They're going to put Noble to the left side. That's Perez Noble. not to be confused with Chris Noble for Bacon County. Meeks, right side, caught from behind and brought down. Looked like a little bit of a naked bootleg. Taft was there, McCarty was there. The Raiders hold, they come up big time over on downs, and they'll get it inside their own 20. That was a huge stand.
It very well was. You know, I was trying to figure out what he was going to do on that play. They had what number 34 looked like it was going to be out for a receiver, maybe just to draw him out an opening to get in there and get the first down, the quarterback.
You know, we have not seen the fullback Taft carry a lot tonight, and I don't want to hex anybody, but he has been a real possession-type ball carrier. Wouldn't mind seeing him getting a couple feeds here.
He's in the backfield.
All right, they're going to split the backfield with Burkett under center at the 14. Left side, who gets the call? Guess what? Up to the 20-yard line goes Dustin Taft for 6.
I guess Coach Brown must have had the same train of thought that you had.
No, I think I've just finally, I guarantee you Scott Brown's not taking any cues from me. I think I just kind of figured out a little bit of how he thinks. But
but you, that was a correct observation, though. You know, you want to hang on to the ball, and he's your guy that's done it all season.
But you know what? When we talk about how well Taft has adjusted to his role, how about the offensive line? I mean, you know, you're looking up there. You got Michael Thornton, a freshman, who's been getting some quality snaps. Tom Anderson, who was only a kicker when the season started. He's been a starting offensive tackle. The feed right side this time, no gain. In fact, maybe even a loss. So, you know, some key contributors up front getting it done. In Burkett, you know, Chuck Woodall, he works with the offensive line. They consider their tight ends to be offensive linemen first, not receivers. So he's been doing a lot of blocking as well.
And you're right, they don't get a lot of glory, but, you know, they actually do the lion's share of the work on the offense.
We're down to the final 90 seconds of the third quarter. Bacon County preserving a 14-7 lead. They'd like to add to it, obviously, but you got to get out of the danger zone here first. Don't want to leave out Corey Hatton over there at right guard, who does a great job, and he plays both ways. Under center, split backs again, going to throw right side, and he's got a man to the seam, and it's complete to Chris Noble up to the 44-yard line. Quick gain of around 20. I didn't get the elbow in the ribs that time. What's up with that?
But you look on my arm, you see chill bumps, because that's the thing I've been looking for all season long, is that just little pop pass over there. You gotta, you know, they gotta honor that. If you do that once in a while, you know, and that was just a thing of beauty the way they did that, and perfect timing.
Rolling right. We mentioned that Reed has the ability to throw on the run, and he was actually running to his throwing side that time. Pulled up, and as you mentioned, the release to Noble, and Chris gets his first catch of the night. Now they have some room to work with. That hole in the jersey getting even bigger as we speak, as Burkett keeps for 8 yards into Atkinson territory at the 49 with 49 ticks left on the third quarter clock. Raiders driving up 14-7.
And again, they're eating that clock up as they go, and getting a lot of what we call yardage.
Matriculation.
I was looking for a word. I know you have.
That's
one.
a Hank Stram term. Let's go, boys. Let's matriculate the ball off the field. 20 Tay Reynolds in, 7 Danke Anderson coming off now. And Reed Burkett looks like he's got one of those old tearaway jerseys. Falls down as he gets it off to Tay Reynolds that time. And they're going to lose 3 yards minimum on that play.
There might have been a little bit of couldn't quite figure out what they were doing in that play.
I don't think they could either. It was one of those gaffes that you have. And here's the thing, you've got to follow up a big play like that with another big play. You know what? That's the end of the third quarter. 4 fingers high in the air. We go to the final 12 minutes of action here at Morris Johnson Stadium. 14-7, Bacon County leading Atkinson County in the final quarter to come. The first 30-second timeout. You're listening to Bacon County Red Raiders football.
Game is brought to you by SGSN and WDMG 860 AM, the Talk of the South, with 97.9 The Big Dog. This game is sponsored by C. Bennett and Johnson Insurance, for everything you hold dear.
(14-7) as we start the fourth quarter. Bacon County leading Atkinson County, and the guy with the war paint down there, I want to call him Sting because he looks kind of like Sting from WWE or WWF or WCW, whatever it was. I think it's WWE now.
Who's this that looks like Sting?
The guy with the war paint. The guy with the mini megaphone down there. He's pumping up the fans, getting them fired up. And actually, cheerleaders are chunking footballs into the stands now, despite they didn't actually score. That's usually when they do it. I guess they do it before the fourth quarter also. I haven't really paid attention. Could be the last home game of their careers for these few seniors, and they know it. And the Red Raiders on 3rd and 6 as they start the fourth quarter from their own 47. The handoff left side. Oh, Jaquan Smith may have lost it, or was it Tay Reynolds, 20 or number 40? He went forward and the ball went the other way.
Yeah, that was Tay.
Raiders recover.
You know, you got to protect that ball. When you go in that middle, you can't just run it like you're running down the sidelines, and they snatch the ball out from his hands.
Again, fullbacks generally do a better job of protecting the football than the lighter guys, the halfback. You don't really have halfbacks anymore, but the tailbacks and wingbacks. I don't know why. Maybe because they're bulkier and they're not as finesse oriented. McCarty stands at his own 34, single safety all the way back at the 20-yard line. McCarty drops the snap. He's going to have to run with it now. And he cuts back the other way, and it could have been really disastrous, but nonetheless, a big play for Atkinson County because they're going to have it at the Red Raider 37-yard line. A low snap, McCarty. I was thinking maybe could have yelled fire or something, but I don't think they have the play where the ends release. Didn't have it set up where Noble was going to be one of those gunners going downfield, and so the Rebels make a big defensive play.
Yeah, big play for the Rebels. They needed that right at this point in the game because we could have driven the ball down the field and eat up that clock some more. Now they're in pretty good field position.
They have trailed for most of this game, but they are pesky and just won't go away. And at the 37-yard line now. They're going to shift off that stack eye into a power set, toss sweep to Vickers. He's going to go inside the 35-yard line. And that's what they've done most time. They try to get that seal on the end. He's got that option of bouncing outside or inside. And he's gone inside every single time. It makes me wonder what he might get if he tries. I don't know if he's got the step or two speed necessary to get off the edge.
Well, we've got Chris Noble out there, and he actually helped contain him on that. And Chris, he has pretty good speed too. So hopefully, he'll be able to contain him because he has that I keep saying, number 34 Vickers, he's just an accident waiting to happen.
I never heard a running back described that way before.
He is.
That's a David Johnson original. And Trey Gibbs comes off, number 10 for the Red Raiders. 2nd down and 8. Raiders are in white. And the all-red uniforms, it's the Rebels, and they're going to stack the eye again. Officials are going to call timeout. It's actually the Rebels that call timeout. That may be their last timeout. They do so at 10:17 of the fourth quarter. Don't go anywhere. Got a good one here now. The 14-7 Red Raiders lead, and the Rebels drive. Let's take a 30-second break. You're listening to Bacon County Red Raiders football. And 14-7 with 10:17 left in the fourth quarter. We're noticing how chilly it is down there. One of our producers and cameramen from South Georgia Sports Network, Tim Bryan, out there jumping up and down on the sidelines, a lot like the players do with the jumping jacks. But how about Marcus Shine? He's got his jersey on. He's not in full uniform. He's out there with the bare arms, no long sleeves, just toughing it out with the guys. 2nd and 8, Rebels on the march. You can call it the 35. I think it's actually the 36. Meeks hands off to Thomas. Wants to bounce out left side. And right there, catching him at the line of scrimmage is Tay Reynolds. Not a good idea to run east and west against him. He did a great job of hemming him up.
Yeah, he read that play from his position, and again, he's in the middle of the field if you watch him line up, but he has that speed to get left and right pretty fast.
He's got good lateral speed, and that's why you do those grapevine and other agility drills. Some of us needed it more than the others, but Tay did a good job pursuing laterally along the line of scrimmage. David, it's 3rd and 6 now. They got some great field position. What can they do with it? We're going to find out. A few moments ago, the defense bended but did not break. Red Raiders got it over on downs inside the 20. They're at the 34 down. Red Raiders lead by a touchdown. It's 14-7 with 9:24. A lot on the line in this game. 4 men down. Going to fake the toss fade and get back to a man inside. It's Vickers, and he gets knocked down by Dustin Taft. They tried that little inside trap type play, and he's going to be 2 or 3 yards shy of the first down.
Yeah, that was a great tackle by Taft. He read that quarterback like a book when he made that counter or whatever you want to call it.
I like the play call, David. I really do. But how about the Red Raiders? You talk about watching the film work. Boy, Taft sniffed it out, and they're going to have to go for it on 4th and 5.
Again, make another great play on defense. Let's hear it for that
On the
defense.
32-yard line. And I think at this point we have seen just about everything in the Rebels playbook. Now this is one of only 2 wins the Raiders got all of last year, but they had to wait until week 10 to get it. They win here tonight. It means they play for the right to go to the state playoffs, and that's what both teams are playing for. Back to the stack eye. Now they're going to break off with Vickers. Send him in motion right side. Under center is Meeks. He gives to Thomas. He does not get the first down. He gets to the 29-yard line, and big Chris Murray was there. Red Raiders are going to get it over on downs yet again. So while the offense put the defense in a tough situation, the Red Raider defense stepped it up again.
Well, we can't play conservative, and I agree. They've played some tough defense, like I say, bend and don't break. But now they've turned the ball over to our offense. So if we can just keep eating that clock up like we've done all season, but we can't play too conservative because we got to get the first down.
Philip Richards, the offensive coordinator, and Scott Brown, the head coach, collaborating on what to do offensively at the 29. They're looking at a 71-yard field. 8:19 to go. Welsh into the game to the right side. Going to have Burkett back in there at the tight end with McCarty at the H-back. On the keeper, Burkett grinds for a yard. Maybe. I think you guys got back to the line of scrimmage. Another thing too, David, you know, if you can pick up a first down or two, even if you don't score, you can still eat up a significant chunk of time. And then if you can boot the ball deep, and McCarty's got a good leg. There was the muffed snap a while ago. You can still serve some purpose with this drive, even if you don't get 6 out of it.
Exactly. They swapping out Tay Reynolds in now.
Danke Anderson off. Danke has not been that much of a force offensively tonight. He hasn't had the touches, but Tay Reynolds has. 7.5 minutes left, time getting short. Rebels showing stunt, and there goes Reed Burkett. The blitz, if you will, came to the left side, the pressure, and to Reed Burkett's right side. Burkett went the other way. A nice read by Reed, no pun intended, but
it did appear, though, as he saw what you just said start to happen, so he just kind of took it on his own there at the line of scrimmage to run the opposite way.
Nuances of the triple option. There's a lot on that court. You can't run that and not have a quarterback with some good judgment. And I think the last 3-year starter Bacon County had was Sidney Spell, who's now an assistant coach for the Red Raiders in his first year. 3rd down, call it 4. Raiders at their own 35. On the keeper again. They try to get the push up front, and Reed did not get enough. Well, he's still on his feet. And let's see, if he's right there next to Michael Thornton, 66, then he would have gotten to the 39. He may only be a yard shy as he hops up quickly.
What you going to do at this point?
6:27. Let's look and see. I think that with Reed Burkett's ability to give that hard snap count, that you try that. Maybe you go and call a timeout afterward. It would definitely be a real gamble. I can't see. I don't want to try to presume to predict what Scott Brown's going to do, and it's actually going to be so close that they're going to have to measure it. You know, a punt's not a sure thing after the muff snap a minute ago either, so you're almost taking as big a chance.
You know, with that speed they've got, you know, we've not seen them break loose yet.
Just
but
short.
Be about the length of a football.
But it could be any minute, you know, if they just happen to break through one tackle.
I'm telling you what, if he decides to go for it, Burkett comes back out on the field. You know, I think this is a huge endorsement of confidence on the offense, and I really think that the way they run that, they may go with the quick snap. We've seen that a lot too. Let's see.
Not even call a signal.
Yeah, where the only people who are involved in it are the center and Burkett, the quarterback. All indications are that they're going to go for it on 4th down. Raiders, how are they going to execute this thing? 18's going to get the call, we know that. Oh, boy. Too close for me to call. I thought that maybe you might see that quick snap. That was not the case.
Our guys are saying it's 1st down, but refs hadn't indicated.
Well, that's part of the lobbying process. They're going to have to measure for it at 6:02. A couple of things. A few moments ago, they gave up the ball right about in this situation on the messed up punt attempt, and the defense held. The defense held twice in a row in critical situations. I think that definitely had a lot to played very heavily into the decision to go for it on 4th down. We can't see because our vision is obscured. Raiders got it.
1st and 10.
A gutsy call, not a high percentage call, but Scott Brown's gamble pays off, and it ain't over yet with 6:02 left. A 14-7 lead. They got to keep moving the football.
Yeah, we need another couple 1st downs right now to and hang on to the ball.
But again, don't you think that was a big endorsement on the offense? But it was also an endorsement of the way defense is played.
It's huge.
From the 39, Rebels showing some pressure up the middle. They're going to give it to Taft, and he gets through the first line of defense, and he gets 2 yards, 5:43. Let me tell you something else, too. I think they've burned all their timeouts. So the clock is not their friend at this point, and that is something that Scott Brown considered, too.
You're right. I noticed on that particular play, the Rebels are actually tackling the ball, which, you know, coaches teach that. And the Raiders have got to hang on to that ball.
When they get to the point where they start trying to strip the football, then you know they're in the short rows as far as hopes of winning the ball game. Quick pass right side McCarty and dropped, and he quickly covers it up or tries to because it was so very close to being a lateral, but it was a forward pass and it's 3rd down.
That was a good call. You know, it did stop the clock, but you can't play too conservative at this point.
3rd down and 8 for the Raiders. Ball at their own 42. Bacon County 14, Atkinson County 7. Low scoring affair. The winner keeps their playoff hopes alive. And the Red Raiders, with a win here tonight, would have an opportunity to actually surpass their win total from last year. They went 2-8 a year ago and didn't get the second win until week 10. That was against Atkinson County. Next week, week 10, will it be for a state playoff berth or will it just be for pride's sake? The winner advances to go on the road. The loser will be back at home. 5:03 now. It's going to be 4th down, and now I think you will see the Raiders kick it away. They're going to run the clock. 4:57, 4:56, Atkinson County. Going to have to try to bust a big play here. 56, Ethan Hampton, the center, holding his right wrist as he comes off. 4:44 now. Maybe even take a penalty here. I don't know. That would be such a bad idea. It's 4th down and 8 for the Raiders from their own 42. McCarty stands at his own 30. Perez Noble at his 25, the single safety. They're going to take a while. They're going to snap at the last minute, and another busted snap. Unbelievable. And at the 29-yard line, that's where the Rebels get it. And I'm wondering if the long snapper, if his hands are cold. We don't know how cold it is down there because we're in the booth. But twice in a row that has happened. 4:24 left now. And you call on the defense to do it again.
Yep. That's what we're going to have to rely on at this point is our defense.
And don't get me wrong, there's no excuse, but I'm trying to rationalize why this is plaguing the Raiders at this point. Can't worry about it right now, got to get on defense. Rebels 1st and 10 at the Raiders 29. The Raiders defense has stepped it up 2 drives in a row. Can they do it here? They've got to hold. Got to protect this 1 possession lead. A receiver left side. Meeks drops it this time. A couple of white shirts in there. Did the Raiders get it back? Raiders say that they do. No indication though yet.
I think the quarterback got back on top of it, but that clock is continuing to roll.
I just got a text message from the Bill, our producer, who says it's cold! Exclamation point.
Okay.
So the answer
You're probably
is yes.
right. Yeah.
That means real cold. I don't know. We don't have the barometer here. Man, it's warm. I don't know what you're talking about. It's like 75 in here to us.
I'm sweating actually a little bit.
351, 350. So, okay, the onus is really, you got to remember, even though the Raiders are living dangerously, it's all the pressure on Atkinson County because they're down. They got to get into the end zone, then they got to get an extra point. And he's hawked down to the backfield. Corey Hatton brings down Meeks, who wanted to throw. It was a pump delay, and he wanted to get it downfield, and Hatton was there.
Yeah, they're actually going to be they're in a passing situation here, and they've not had much success at that tonight.
You know what I like most about Corey Hatton? He's only a junior. Get him back next year. And you know, as far as athletes are concerned, we talk a lot about Chris Murray, and we talk a lot about Reed Burkett, the two seniors, two leaders on this team. But then when you think from an athletic standpoint, Chris Noble, Danke Anderson, and you probably got to consider Corey Hatton in there as far as top 5 athletes on this team. McCarty's so great because of his aggression and his approach to the game. But as far as physical tools, now that's got to be the last time out at 2:51. Let's take a break here at 2:51 of the fourth quarter. Red Raiders 14, Rebels 7, 30-second timeout. You are listening to Bacon County Red Raiders football.
This game is also sponsored by Family Vision Care, for a lifetime of vision health since 1955. This game is also sponsored by Jay's IGA, hometown proud, go Raiders. This game is also sponsored by South Georgia Diagnostic and Prevention Center with Doctors Clay Carter and Lou Ellen Hutchison.
Our Raiders are playing inspired.
Final timeout by the Rebels. 14-7, Bacon County leading. And Scott Brown's got his arms crossed too. It must be cold. And don't forget, you can catch the write-up of today's game in the Alma Times next week. Wendy Rogers from the Alma Times doing a great job on the sideline, braving the weather. Appreciate her fine work. From the deep shotgun, under pressure, McCarty hits Meeks as he unloads. Pass is knocked down. Nicely defended by Tay Reynolds, the 4th down pass.
He throws up for grabs. That secondary comes up big.
Go ahead.
No, I can't wait to see the instant replay on that to see just how high Tay Reynolds got off the ground.
The 3rd down pass, that brings up 4th down. Reynolds has got a good vertical jump, and he used it that time. And really, I don't know if he could have picked that pass off or not. He may have thought it was 4th down, because in a case like that, considering field possession, knocking it down is what you would do. And again, maybe his fingertips are too cold. 2:46 left, and now this could be the last offensive play of the game for the Rebels. They can bring in a new guy, 33, Trent McKinnon. They're going to put him in the slot left side. Joins a trio of receivers. 4th and 15 at the Raiders 35. Here comes the rush. They're going to take down Meeks, and he loses the football. Raiders are going to have the football either way. They're either going to take over downs on the 42. Murray emerges from the pile with the football. They're either going to take over on downs or they recover the fumble. The defense does it again. If you've got to pick an MVP, it's going to be the 11 guys on defense, I think.
I agree with you 100%. And if they can just hold on to the ball here, we're going to have to gas them up because we go into that side of the state again.
Hey, you know what, though? The better thing about it this time, there's a lot more on the line.
Yep.
You're talking about a team that would have a couple of victories if they pull this one out. And, oh, by the way, gas is about half what it was last time we made that trip.
Yep, you're right.
Hey, I understand it was like $1.80 over on the coast today.
Great.
What is this, 1981?
What's
up with gas prices?
I love it.
Red Raiders feeling the excitement of the moment, smelling victory number 2, but there's a lot of time left. You've got to hold on to the football. Let's not count the Chicks yet from their own 41. Handoff right side, and I think he lost it. Just as quickly as we say that, I think Taft coughed it up, and he did.
You got to be kidding me.
It ain't over yet.
It's one of those situations where we count our beauties before they hatch, because I definitely shouldn't have said what I said, because
We need it again.
But the thing about it is, at what point does somebody flinch? I mean, that's not even the right terminology. It's almost a stalemate with the turnovers. Who's going to be the first one to get burned by one?
well, we've had, you know, like you said, our defense has actually
We're calling on our defense again to keep us in.
like you said, they bent, but they didn't break. So maybe we'll see what's going to happen again.
It was 14-7 at the half. That's where we stand with 2:19 left in this ball game. 3 consecutive drives. The Raider defense has held. And now they're going to put Vickers on the right side. Vickers from the gun. This is not in formation. That's the A part of their attack. And a big hold that doesn't get called. Raiders intercept it though. Over the middle. Tay Reynolds comes up into that time. McCarty blitzing in, got held up right in front of an official. It didn't get called, and it didn't matter because Reynolds picked it off.
Well, at this point, we generally said that the defense was the player of the game, but I think Tay would have to be the player of the game. He's been all over the field tonight on the defense.
He's going to get some data boys when he comes off now. There's no question about that.
Gets the ball right
Back-to-back turnovers on consecutive plays. 2:13 left. I don't know that maybe you don't just get in the victory formation and fall on it. That was a quick snap, or so I thought, but apparently somebody must have moved with the center because it's going to be an offsides penalty against the Raiders.
You know, a lot of times we shoot ourselves in the foot in the beginning of the game, but right now we're really making some mistakes that could be, you know, we just don't need to be making them right now.
And on 2:12, now the clock doesn't seem to be Bacon County's friend. All they've got to do is run the plays, keep the ball in the field of play, and really get one first down. It's going to be 1st and 15.
You know, it might pay for them just to run just as hard as they can, left or right, just to eat some time off the clock and try to get some yardage upfield.
Maybe run a stretch play. Noble to the right side. Tell you a guy we haven't seen in a while is Ty Murchison. I don't know what his status is. I just thought about that when I saw 6 come out there, and I hadn't seen number 5.
He just goes forward.
2:02, 2:01. Now the clock's under 2 minutes. We don't have a 2-minute warning in high school football. 2nd down and 12. And really 13 to go. Ball at the 20-yard line. Don't forget, Tuesday at 7 p.m. You can see the South Georgia Sports Network, ATC Channel 15. The write-up will be on the shelf on the news rack Thursday in the Alma Times. From the 20, it's McCarty left side and Garrett Welsh to the right side. 134, 133, a first down. And it's, I don't want to say it's over. On the keeper, left side, no gain for Burkett. Going to bring up 3rd down. The clock's going to roll. Rebels can't stop it. How costly will the turnovers be tonight?
Let me ask you this: Do you think at 4th we'll go for it, or will we punt?
I think maybe what you do is, if it's another low snap, you tell McCarty to just turn around and run out of the back of the end zone. Because if you do that, then you get a free kick. 59 seconds, 58. I mean, you'd be giving up 2 points instead of 7. I've seen that happen before. We're not there yet, though. 3rd and 12. 48, 47. Yeah, I think you're right. Unless they get a first down on this, it's going to come up to line it up for another punt, maybe. And he's going to go right side, still driving. Hey, that's going to eat up another 2 or 3 seconds. That could make the difference here. To the 30-yard line, it's going to be 4th and 5. I think that's going to do it. The Raiders smelling victory now. Marcus Shine down there with the mates on the sideline. Red Raiders know it. 17-16. They're not going to have to run another play. The Red Raiders are going to secure their 2nd victory of the season and going to make a long road trip. And look at the coaches congratulating the players on the field. Haven't seen that happen. 3, 2, 1. That's it, folks. The Red Raiders 14. And the Atkinson County Rebels 7, Raiders secure win number 2. And they're going to play next week for an opportunity to go to the state playoffs. Final score 14-7. Happy times here in Alma. When we come back, a post-game show brought to you by BENNETT&JOHNSON Insurance. First 2-minute timeout. You listen to Bacon County Red Raiders football. Final score, Bacon County 14, Atkinson County 7. Red Raiders improved to 2-7 on the year, and the Atkinson County Rebels fall to 1-7-1. So the silver lining for the Rebels, they get to play at home once more this year. Next week, they will host the other number 4 from the B side of the region, while the victorious Red Raiders move on. They go on the road next week as the number 3 seed out of the sub-region. They play the number 2 seed, whoever that is at the end of tonight. We do not know. It's going to be either Terrell County or Seminole County or Miller County, we think. And so they will play on the road against that team, and with the winner going on to play in the state playoffs. If the Raiders win, they go into the state playoffs. So, David, doesn't get much better than that right now.
Nope. We've, who would have thunk it, so to speak? They, but it was like we were trying to give it away right there at the end. I mean, it was, made, I lost a few more hairs off my head watching that, because it could have went either way right there at the end. Both teams turned over the ball, and we had penalties at the most inopportune time. Dropped the ball when we were trying to punt the ball, that kind of thing.
But you know what? It started out like it could have been a nasty game as far as unsportsmanlike penalties and the like, and that certainly calmed down, and cooler heads prevailed, and Dylan Tillman and Sabron Mosby do the high bump there, and a lot of happy Red Raiders. And look at this. Who is this getting carried off the field by his 2 seniors? Now that is a great picture there. Hope my photographer gets a shot of Reed Burkett and Chris Murray carrying Scott Brown at least part of the way to the 50-yard line. They finally said, "Coach, you're too much of a load." Hey, let's look at the tail of the tape tonight. Reed Burkett actually wound up finishing strong on the ground, 15 carries for 56 yards. Tay Reynolds, more of a presence on defense. He got his share of touches on offense, 9 carries for 20 yards there. Taft and DeQuan Smith chipped in as well. 88 yards on the ground. All of it was tough to come by. Tez Vickers, the leading ball carrier in this game, 22 carries, 72 yards for the Rebels. And Akeem Thomas added 50 yards on 11 carries. They had 128 yards on the ground. Drew Meeks, 2 of 9 through the air for an interception, 34 yards. Reed Burkett was 2 of 3 on the night. He had a 34-yard completion. Noble with a 24-yard gainer. Michael McCarty caught the other pass for 10 yards. And meanwhile, Tez Vickers and Perez Noble, excuse me, I did it again, each with a catch for the Rebels, rather. Rebels with a statistical edge, team-wise, 10 first downs. Bacon County had 8. The total yards on the evening, the total net yards, 162 for the Rebels, 122 for the Bacon County Red Raiders. Atkinson County put it on the ground 4 times, lost it 3. Bacon County coughed it up 6 times, lost it 3 of those times. 8 penalties, 48 yards for the Rebels. 7 penalties, 40 yards for the Red Raiders. So they really played a lot more discipline in the second half. Time of possession, This is one of those games where Bacon County did not have the advantage. Rebels with 27 minutes and Bacon County with a little over 20 minutes time of possession. Third down conversions, and the Rebels did pretty well there. 4 of 13 conversions, Bacon County 2 of 8. How about this? Atkinson County went for it on 4th down 6 times, and they converted 3 of those. The Red Raiders, meanwhile, were 1 of 4 on 4th down possessions. A salute to Jason Taylor, our statistician, also to Roland Lott, our studio producer, John DuPont and David Johnson here with you. And as we wrap it up here, we don't know as of right now where we will be next Friday. We just know that we'll be on the road. And we will not play again this year at Morris Johnson Stadium. Only 4 regular season games, and because they win, they go on the road, but it does mean they got an opportunity to play that 11th game, and that's what they've been looking for all year long.
Well, that's what you said. You know, all season they wanted to get to the number 11, and the thing is, I'm so glad that they had a win at home. The fans were able to see, you know, that they can win a game, and they actually played. They took care of business. These coaches have worked extremely hard, as well as the players. And I'm just grateful for that. And I'd like to say one other thing, though, and I want to thank all the businesses in town that sponsored this televised portion of this game, because it means a lot for these kids. They're going to actually get to watch this for the rest of their life. An exceptionally well-played game, and I just want to thank them very much for that.
And let's take time to thank our radio sponsors, beginning with C. Bennett&Johnson Insurance and Lamar's Pharmacy, ATC, which will carry this game on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. Family Vision Care, Dr. Clay Carter, Fenders Chevrolet of Douglas, Jay's IGA, Stalvey Heating and Cooling of Douglas, and Richmond Baking Company, Trinity Ford of Alma, Digital Express, Dairy Queen of Alma, also your neighborhood McDonald's. Thanks to all of our radio sponsors, WDMG AM 860 and 1400 AM WAJQ. Next week's game will be on 860 AM WDMG and also on your FM dial 93.5 FM. So we'll be blasting the borders come this time next week. And you can check out the Alma Times on your newsstand on Thursday. By that time, we'll know who we're going to be playing next week. But David and Jason and I will hit the road again along with the Red Raiders. Happy Road Warriors as the Raiders pick up win number 2 on the year, a 14-7 decision tonight over the Atkinson County Red Raiders. Over the Atkinson County Rebels. All right. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. The Raiders win it tonight. Good night, everyone, from Morris Johnson Stadium in Alma.
The one game I bet against the Bacon County Red Raiders. Go figure. Anyway, that was the South Georgia Sports Network Game of the Week. Red Raiders versus the Atkinson County Rebels. And it's brought to you by South Georgia Sports Network and WDMG 860 AM, the talk of the South. Once again, I'd like to thank all of our sponsors for making this happen. You guys came out and supported the Red Raiders just like full-throatedly. You guys did a great job. I really appreciate it. I know the players appreciate it, the cheerleaders appreciate it, and the band appreciates it. Especially that guy who got a date with the call me thing. Yeah, okay. I should try that sometime. But anyway, next week we don't know who we're shooting. It's either the Athlone County Pirates or the Bacon County Red Raiders. The Red Raiders for the right to play in the playoffs, and Athlone County 8-1. Really exciting season for them. We had the same amount of sponsors for both games, so if you're interested, please give us a call at this number down here, and we will definitely hear and heed your messages and then pick which one to shoot. And also, I guess Barack Obama is now the next president of the United States. What you get for broadcasting on a Tuesday night, November 4th, on this historic election. And we could have probably picked a better day to do this, but you know, what are you gonna do? So anyway, sit back, relax, check us out next week at 7 p.m. And until next time. This game is brought to you by SGSN and WDMG 860 AM, the talk of the South, with 97.9 The Big Dog. This game is sponsored by C. Bennett&Johnson Insurance, for everything you hold dear. This game is also sponsored by Family Vision Care, for a lifetime of vision health since 1955. This game is also sponsored by Jay's IGA, hometown proud, go Raiders. This game is also sponsored by South Georgia Diagnostic and Prevention Center, with Doctors Clay Carter and Lou Ellen Hutchison. We're fired? No, you're fired.